7 weeks of competition has led to this moment. The top 10 have become the top 6. And we're going to find out for one last time who's going to take the trophy, who's going to take the crown, and who's going to get themselves a spot at Worlds. This is the Clash Royale Crown Championship European Full Finals.
What it has all come down to. Here we go.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Clash Royale Crown Championship. My name's Trid and I'm here to bring you the 4 finals for the European region. Seeing as we've got ourselves a final situation, we've also got ourselves a small but powerful studio audience. As you can hear them making some noise right there. But let's start getting into the action. We've got top 6 players from Europe here. Let's have a look at the journey for them to get here so far. So follow me over to the LED wall and we'll have a quick look at who we're going to be dealing with today. We had a double round-robin group stage for these players to whittle them down from 10 to 6. We've already said goodbye to Donkey Kong, Adam, Tin, and Nem Sensei, and that leaves us with Baron, Surgical Goblin, Ice Lord, Loe, Soaking, and Lupanji. They're going to be duking it out today. Let's have a look at the leaderboard after 7 weeks of competition. Surgical Goblin and Soaking sat on top. They're getting the preferential seeding going into this tournament, and you'll see what I mean about that in a second. But Baron, Ice Lord, Lupanji, Loe, they had a nice clear gap of the bottom 4 we've said goodbye to. Now, let's have a look at that bracket. We're going to use that instead of the schedule. I'll talk you through it so you don't get lost. The first 4 matches are going to be Ice Lord versus Lupanji, Baron versus Loe, and then the victors of those matches will go against Surgical Goblin and Soaking. Now, the losers of the first 4 matches will drop into the lower bracket. That's the double elimination bracket. You lose 2 matches, you're out of the tournament. So match 5 and match 6 will be those losing 4 from the first games. They'll duke it out to see who will progress to the next stage, and we'll wave goodbye to our first 2 players from this tournament. Then we'll go back up to the top for the winners bracket final. That'll decide who will be taking the first spot in the grand finals and who will be taking that first spot to London. Then we'll cut back down to the lower half of the bracket and we'll have a gauntlet style run to decide who will be in the grand finals and taking that second space. Of course, if the lower bracket finalist does manage to beat the upper bracket finalist, they will have to play a second best of 5. However, if the winner bracket finalist does take that match, then that's it. The final is over. We know that we've already seen the trophy. Let's have a look at the prize pool that's on the line. $15,000 for the first place. $10,000 if you just get to the finals guaranteed, but $5,000 just for making it here today. Now, trophy, prize pool, spot at Worlds. The 3rd of December, will host the Copper Box Arena that will have the global finals of the Clash Royale Global Series. There will be all the players there from around the world, as well as you, if you'd like to buy a ticket. They go on sale for £40. You have to be over 16 to attend. While we're on the theme of global series, global events, global finals, we have a whole range of languages for you to listen to this broadcast in. We have, of course, Spanish, French, German, and Italian. And as well as that, we've also going to be very generous. Well, Supercell is, they've given another discount code. So if you see anything on the Supercell store you want to buy, now is the time to do it. Should be around here somewhere. Use that code, save yourself some money, and get some awesome swag. And one of the newest additions to the full season has, of course, been the ban system. Like I said, we're at the 4 finals. We've taken it up a notch. We've got an audience member. We've also got another co-host. So let's let Ben take you through the ban system.
Thanks, Trid. Hey guys, my name's Ben. Let me take you through something that's a little bit different from last season. That is the double blind ban system. So what that means is, prior to each of their sets, each player will globally ban 1 card. So, you might not think that banning 1 card out of a possible 78 in the whole entire game is that big of a deal. However, say for example that ban is Pump. that pretty much rules out the whole entire Three Musketeer and Golem archetypes. And the impact it can have on someone that's been practicing those decks for a whole week, it's immense. They're truly going to have to show how versatile they are and how they can think on the fly. That being said, it's time for match one, guys. I'm going to throw you over to our English broadcasters, Woody and Chartin. Take it away, guys.
Beautifully explained, Ben. I am in chatting from #gaming.
And howdy guys, I'm Woody from Reddit Alpha, and we are just about ready to hop into the first match. There's going to be no downtime today. These guys have been going through an absolute marathon in chatting. You remember when the 20-win challenge was in the game? It feels like months ago by now. In fact, it was. After the 20-win challenge, they went to stage 2, in which they had to compete in a bracket format to get to the very top. Only champions admitted into stage 3, where they had to face off against players from the spring season. And a few of them got to move on. A few of the spring season guys came back. It was 5-5 and even split. But now that we're in the top 6, only 2 players from the spring remain. They are Surgical Goblin and Baron. 4 new faces have joined us.
Yes, 4 new faces have joined us, and these new faces have put up a fight. Soaking finishing in 2nd, the preferential seeding in this double elimination bracket, getting him a first round bye in essence, definitely outperformed. And let me tell you something, we have Soaking, we have Icelaw, Lupanji, and Loe coming through, the new faces of the EU fall season. And let me tell you something, guys, they have performed against the old guard.
Players from across the continent competing today. We've got 2 Frenchmen, 2 Germans, 1 player from the Netherlands, and 1 player from Spain. And you might think that, only having 1 representative here might be at a disadvantage, but those 2 guys, the Spaniard and the player from the Netherlands, are in the top 2 seeds. They're at the very top. In addition to the countries represented today, we've also got 3 members of Team Queso, 2 members from Team Nova, and 1 man who is still independent, unaffiliated.
That man would be Loe.
Yes, indeed.
Interesting, interesting, interesting. Who is going to take it all today? Then again, you don't have to win it all today. Top 2 spots, get your bid into London, where you'll be fighting for a $400,000 prize pool, $150,000 for first. So if you finish in 1st or 2nd today, it is going to get you in a prime position to make a ton of money.
That's a pretty purse to be able to claim $150,000 for first place in the World Finals. Is that what you said? Did I hear that right? A life-changing sum. Now, if you are one of the players in the top 2, the preferential seeding, either Surgical Goblin or Soaking, you actually only need to win 2 more matches, and you get to punch your ticket to London. You'll be going there no matter what. The guys who have to climb through the losers bracket, though, are going to have a very difficult time making it to the top. But that being said, we're ready to introduce the very first match. We've got Lupanji, the Frenchman from Team Nova, and Icelaw, the Frenchman from Team Queso. It's a French fraternal fracas in the very first matchup in chatting.
Yes, it is, but they are ready to go now. I cannot wait for this matchup. It is going to be absolutely insane. But first up, we have the player from the blue side of the arena, the master of the stash, the king of the sword, Lupanji!
Lupanji, Frenchman from Team Nova, had a 10-8 record in the double round robin. He defeated Soaking and Loe, but lost to Surgical Goblin, Icelaw, and Baron. He might be one of the players with the most polarizing performance. He either wins hard or he gets sent packing. He's going to have a difficult matchup against Icelaw, though. Icelaw's only win dominantly was over Lupanji. He got ties, 1-1 draws in the round robin leading up to this, but it's going to be up to Lupanji to maintain consistent play, bring some, maybe interesting decks. He is really well known for bringing stuff that we would have never expected before. I think that we saw him run a Bomb Tower Hog Rider deck in the last week, so yeah. Who knows what we're going to have from Lupanji?
Anything can happen, but we have our next player from the red side of the arena. The French Bulldog, the king at the bridge, Icelaw!
Icelaw, the Frenchman from Team Queso, has embraced the bridge spam. The Master of Disaster has joined the dark side, and with an 11-7 extremely impressive run through the double round robin, he's got the dominating position over Lupanji right now. You'll recall that in previous weeks, Icelaw victorious, not just in close 2-1 matches, but actually managed to get a 2-0 over Lupanji the first time that they met up. Let's take a look at these bans. We got Ice Golem out of Lupanji and Balloon from Icelaw.
Balloon from Icelaw. I mean, Lupanji has never been able to play Balloon pretty much this entire fall season.
Poor guy.
It's going to happen again. Ice Golem being banned by Lupanji takes away a little bit of the bridge spam element that Icelaw, could run. He likes to play a lot of hog decks as well. Really takes away a lot of, opportunities for him to really get that quick cycle kind of deck going. But no Balloon from Lupanji. Lupanji is no stranger to that. He's been our most versatile player. He can play pretty much anything. He showed us pretty much Mortar Graveyard. He's shown us MK Rocket Bowler. He's shown us the heaviest decks. He's shown us the craziest decks. He's also showed us the Flying Machine for the first time that first week, going 2-0 with that. Amazing player, and I'm excited to see what he brings to this matchup, because we haven't seen him play a Balloon since, like,
it could be anything. Yeah, you're right. Balloon is one of his favorite cards. He plays it a lot with Mega Knight in these big, heavy beatdown decks. But unfortunately, with the ban against him, Icelaw has continued the same line of play that he had before. He banned Balloon the first time that they met up, and he won. He banned Balloon the second time that they met up, and he won again. Will this third Balloon ban be enough for Icelaw to be able to take the win again? In the past, Lupanji had banned a couple of different cards. He went with the Inferno Dragon in their first matchup and the E-Wizard in their second matchup. So he's trying to find his pacing. He's trying to find the right card to take out of Icelaw's deck. In the first matchup, it was a 2-0 win for Icelaw. In the second matchup, however, Lupanji did manage to peel a win off of Icelaw. If that momentum holds, maybe the third matchup will be a 2-1 victory for Lupanji.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. The same ban has been said by Icelaw every time. I'm going to ban Balloon. Lupanji, like you said, trying to figure it out. Let's see what he comes up with in order to win. Maybe Ice Golem was the answer to take a match set here. We're going to find out. There's a Goblin Hut to start off the game.
Goblin Hut, an unconventional card, just kind of recently came back into the popular usage of these top players. There was a little bit of a buff for the Spear Goblins. They throw spears 0.2 seconds faster than before, which equates to quite a good bit of DPS improvement for them. They deal just a little bit more damage if you give them enough time to stack up.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that 0.2 matters that much, but oh, any little bit of damage matters. You go into TV Royale, you see how many games are within 50 HP, 30 HP, 40 HP. Guess what? 30 HP, 20 HP, that's in range of a Goblin.
But a huge hit out this left side. The E-Wiz is able to zap and reset the targeting of that left side tower. Icelaw takes a huge hit, and a P.E.K.K.A slams into the right side tower as well, chopping it up. Defensive Goblin Hut out here is not going to be so great against this Hog Rider, though. He's pulverizing this poor Hut.
Oh no, Inferno Dragon's still alive. It's going to heat up on the Mega Minion. Is it going to swipe? Yes, it will take it down. If that Inferno
Hog
Dragon
Rider hoaxes.
What were you saying?
No, I was saying that the Hog Rider choked out that Hut better than Princess Leia did. Got a swing at that right side tower as well, bringing it down to 2,006 hit points, but Lupanji holds the damage lead on both lanes.
Yeah, Lupanji playing this slow, playing this nice, realizing that it's a slow-paced game for him. He's got the Hut, he's got the Miner, he's just going to chip it out.
A total control freak, super hard defensive plays from Lupanji, just whittling away at that left side tower anytime he gets a chance. Nice P.E.K.K.A right on the right side is going to be able to wipe out this Hog Rider Goblin push, but Icelaw's got a great counter, the Inferno Dragon.
Yeah, it's going to just continue to heat up this P.E.K.K.A. And the only thing well, he does have a Zap and an Electro Wizard, which is kind of unfortunate for Icelaw because he's really trying to make a lot of use from this Inferno Dragon. But when you have two counters to it, it kind of really isn't going to do much the entire game.
Big attack coming from Icelaw over on the right. It is going to go toward that Goblin Hut. Once again, though, the Wizard of Pause, Electro Wizard, zapping in, forcing that little Hog Rider to take a little second as he tries to make it toward the Hut. Can't quite reach the tower this time, and Lupanji is holding on dominant.
Yeah, he's going to, Icelaw is going to need to connect a Hog if he wants to win this game. This tower on the left-hand side is slowly getting chipped down. One more Spear Goblin chip, every single Spear Goblin matters.
The thing about this Miner Poison deck that Lupanji is playing, though, is that you can never stop it. You can shut down these Spear Goblins every once in a while, but Miner is really hard to get the prediction on. He almost always goes straight for the tower, and the Poison is easy, reliable damage. The difficult, dangerous thing here, though, is that the Hog Rider has that Mega Knight distracting for him. Right side connection's looking good for Iceslaw. He gets a hit off. Right side defense is the E-Wiz cannon. Hold on and chatting.
It's going to be close. 94 damage on the left-hand lane, and oh, Lupanji gonna take it with the Miner Poison. Beautifully played there. That Hog seemed like it was an endless array of swings on that right side tower, but the tower was just so healthy. Important. That's the importance of the early game defense for Lupanji. Allowed him to stop that Mega Knight Hog push at the end. Easily was able to take, what, 1,500 damage on his right side tower, say all I have to do is Miner log that left-hand side, and I'm going to walk away with the victory in game one.
Smack it down. That is just not what you want to see when you're playing a Hog Rider deck. You want it to go straight for the tower and not have to worry about a bunch of damage getting stacked up right on it. The fact that there was both a Goblin Hut to distract the Hog Rider and a P.E.K.K.A. to chop him apart means that Lupanji had the perfect read on that deck setup, and I think he played it really, really well. The fact that he's now up 1-0 against an opponent who was defeating him 4-1 in the round robin means that Lupanji has been practicing a lot and knows what to expect from the fellow Frenchman.
And as you can see, this Hog Rider getting so many swings on the right-hand side, but guess what? You need a little bit more than so many when the tower is so healthy, Woody. And Miner, on the left-hand side, all I need to do is hit it twice. Tower's down. First game going to Lupanji. But let's take a look at the card recap, the post-game recap. Lupanji playing a lot less cards than Icelaw's Psycho Hog kind of deck. So you have to see, you have to expect, something maybe a little bit different from Icelaw. Maybe he plays a little, heavier style deck on the second matchup. I mean, he did have the Mega Knight with the Hog. Do you think he goes back to Hog? Do you think maybe he goes, heavy Golem? Or does he go back to, his bridge stam style, which he brought out a couple of times and got a lot of 2-0s when he brought out that Battle Ram, Mini P.E.K.K.A., Fire Spirit, Night Witch deck? We're going to find out in game number 2.
That's what I'm hoping for in chat. And these defensive decks that Lupanji likes to play can hold off really well against light and chippy attacks. Iceslaw sending in the Hog Rider, but never really getting a big connection. If he goes for the bridge spam, though, especially if he includes the P.E.K.K.A. in his deck, Iceslaw can put together a much bigger push and threaten Lupanji hard.
Yeah, Knight coming down on the right with this, kind of just seeing each other out, seeing what it is, but there's a huge elixir. 7 elixir on the field, but ooh, Mega Knight coming down.
Big bash out the right side, and a cannon cart to defend. It's going to soak a big jump from the Mega Knight, but it holds on. Ooh, I don't think it's going to be converted into a building just quickly enough. Nice pull from Lupanji, though. 4-for-4 counter, dropping this Hog Rider defensive Tesla in the center.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for Icelaww to get past a Tesla and a cannon cart, which he could sacrifice to get it to a cannon to really pull this Hog and make this Hog's day not very fun.
Just about even on Elixir. Lupanji is going to start off first, though. Reaches 10 and goes in for the Miner Minion Horde attack. Poison comes in, but he lets a few minions swipe away the tower nonetheless. Miner chipping it down. About 600 damage peeled off the left lane. Nice hit for Lupanji. 700, in fact.
Yeah, here comes an Ice Spirit on the left-hand side from Icelaww. Goblins as well. He needs to figure out a way to get this Hog in. I think he's trying to ponder, how am I going to get this Hog past the Tesla, past the cannon cart, and past an Electro Wizard on top of all of that?
Cannon cart can't do a whole lot against these bats coming on, and the tower's going to start to shoot him down, but we're relying on the Tesla once again to pull the Hog away. No damage for Lupanji's left lane. Can he leverage this cannon cart to a counter push?
No, I think he's just going to leave it. Mega Knight, that's a 7 elixir counter for that. And the Minion Horde comes down.
Ooh.
Zap. Oh, wow.
I love that play from Icelaww. A Zap Ice Spirit combo, enough to take out the minions. Not having to rely on the poison spell and getting a great 3-for-5 trade on defense.
Yeah, he saves an elixir there, and every elixir matters. Goblin's going to defend that. Here comes a Hog Rider on the right-hand side. Is he going to get down to Tesla? No, he's not. Electro Wizard going to do a little bit of work. Ice Spirit going to freeze it. And just like that, he gets the Hog Rider in.
2 hits. Lupanji doing a little bit of a split push here. He's got the E-Wiz down the right side. Leftovers from taking out that Hog Rider, but left lane is even bigger. Icelaww sends in the Mega Knight, trying to get a jump onto the tower, but not making it this time. Has Lupanji got a Tesla for this? Yes, he does, just barely.
Ice Spirit, though, going to freeze it, but it will take it out. Is he going to get a shot?
Uh-oh. He gets it!
Wow, 1 shot on the right-hand side.
Great lead for Lupanji. Every tiny little bit of damage he can get out that left side is crucial as Islaw's Hog Riders keep whittling away at the right side tower. The split, though, who do you think is in the lead in terms of this split game in Chatton?
Right now, in terms of the split game, after this push right now, I'd have to say it's Islaw. A lot of Elixir had to be used there from Lupanji. The poisons are just continuing from Islaw on offense, and if Lupanji doesn't have a poison in his deck or a big heavy spell, he might be looking at getting poisoned out.
There's just not really a great opportunity for Lupanji to drop a poison. It's likely that that might be one of his final cards since it synergizes so well with the Miner. Great opportunity to defend here with the Cannon Cart, keeping that Hog Rider off the tower. But no, he gets a swing in anyways.
Yeah, and this is just going to get poison cycled, and Lupanji knows it. He's got to switch up what he's trying to do because the poisons are just keep on coming. Oh, he had to waste 4 Elixir for that, just to stop that push. How was he going to answer? And a 1 Elixir Ice Spirit able stop a 4 Elixir Electro Wizard.
Lupanji's opening up that right lane, though. Islaw taking quite a bit of damage out that side, and it's giving him the opportunity to switch things up if he chooses to do so. Lupanji going to continue sieging this left lane, though. Miner connects on the backside tower before the bats are able to take him down, and the Mega Knight pulverizes this poor Cannon Cart.
Yeah, it's going to be who splits better. Here comes an Ice Spirit and a Hog Rider on the right-hand side from Islaw. Log coming down. Is he going to get down the Tesla? Yes, he is. But the Mega Knight clobbers away at the left.
Gymnasts, the both of them. The splits have been amazing this game so far. Islaw defending this left side hasn't taken a whole lot more damage. I think that his ability to catch these miners has been really important. There hasn't really been any great counter in Lupanji's deck to deal with the Mega Knights coming back to attack.
No, but that was a lot of Elixir had to be used from Islaw on that left-hand side. But here it is, Hog Rider on the right. Is he going to put down a Tesla? Yes, he is, but what does he have on this left-hand side? The Mega Knight. Oh, a single Knight going to be able to shut down this entire Mega Knight. A lot of damage on the left, a lot of damage on the right side for either player. Who's going to be able to get that one last push with a minute left in the game?
Both down to triple digits, but in Chatton, this is looking real deadly on the right side. Hog Rider's coming in. Do we have enough damage to keep this Hog off? No, it's the hard commit by Islaw. The base race is going to Islaw!
No! Lupanji committed, trying to get that last 62 damage on the left-hand side. Just not enough. Islaw sneaks that Hog in. They did the splits all game. You had to expect it would end on a split from either player. Left side Lupanji, right side Islaw. Islaw is going to take game number 2, putting it to a match 3, Woody. Woo.
In chat, now I gotta see the end of that one more time. So close to tearing that left side tower down. Both players knew that they had to commit. This is the final way to get the job done. You know, Lupanji could have gone for the defense here, but he felt confident. And I don't blame him, man. Minions wandering in with a Knight on top, roll the log through, and that healthy Miner out the bat looks like it's gonna be enough. But the Hog Rider, uncontested on the right side. He was too slow to shut him down.
Yeah, that was bats played by Islaw right there to distract the minions. Otherwise, those minions would have just came in, swiped, taken down the tower. But here's the thing. You have 2 Elixir minions. You have 2 Elixir bats, plus you have the 2 Elixir goblins. You have really cheap cards to be able to stop, you know, an assault. Well, as your Hog Rider just comes in, you could take the minor chip damage, just wasn't enough. 62 left. Look at how many cards Islaw played, 58. So many more than Lupanji, cycling his deck so quickly to, you know, continue to get out those Hog Riders on time in and time again on the right-hand side. Lupanji was stuck playing, you know, defense for most of that game. The poisons just kept on chipping away, and Lupanji, 62 life, just was not able enough to clear out the game.
Heartbreaker of a loss for Lupanji there. In fact, if one more minor swing had gone through, if one more log had rolled through, if you had even gotten a little bat on the tower or any tiny little bit of damage, it would have been enough to tear that thing apart. But poison could not tick away the remainder on that left side. And it was a bit of a ballsy play, almost paid off for him, but he couldn't seal the deal right there. Is Islaw going to be able to turn this thing around and get the reverse sweep on the player who he's beaten pretty handily in the round robin so far to maintain his spot here in the double elim bracket?
Yeah, that's true. Both these players sitting at 10 Elixir, kind of just playing the waiting game. What are you going to play? How am I going to play? And there's a miner coming out from Lupanji. It looks like he's got a quicker deck. Islaw with the Night Witch to block it, and beautifully played by Islaw to start off this game.
Nice catch indeed. Lupanji's got a little bit of Elixir to play around with here. He's going to play the Wizard of Claws. Mega Minion swiping down that poor Night Witch. Not a whole lot to contest it, but bring it in the hut once again.
Yeah, it worked for you the first game. May as well bring it in for the second.
Give it another try. It looks like I might have switched it up to a Golem deck this time, though, and that might be a little bit of difficulty for Lupanji playing a little bit more chippy style defense here, unless he's got Big Mama P.E.K.K.A once again.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to need something. I mean, the Goblin Hut is not really the greatest answer to stopping a Golem. You know, the Spear Goblins, they don't do much damage when you have the unit with the most health in the game walking down your lane. It is not going to take that much damage at all from, what, 2 or 3 Spear Goblins smacking it? It's going to
Not at all. You need some heavy hitter. Lupanji's got the cards in his previous matches. So he brought P.E.K.K.A, though. Remember, that's one of the greatest counters to Golem in the game. But we haven't seen it just quite yet. The thing that is going to define this match, though, is who is able to take the early momentum. Lupanji needs to be the one to start turning things around here. Islaw has an absolute monster of a double elixir punish deck, and it's going to be able to hit really hard as this Golem starts to mount up. But not a whole lot of defense just yet. This cannon card about to be chopped up by the P.E.K.K.A. Iwiz combo helping out as well. Gets rid of it, and that P.E.K.K.A. still looking pretty great.
Oh, no, Islaw. Lupanji said, you're going to play Golem, I'm going to play P.E.K.K.A at the bridge. And guess what? If you have an 8 elixir unit as your win condition and you're outcycled, you just use your Mega Minion, use your pump, you have really no answer for that.
Islaw is done, it so seems. P.E.K.K.A has taken the king down to 840 hit points. Even if Islaw were able to get this right side tower down now, Lupanji would be set up very well to go for the triple crown.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge push from Islaw, but look at this poison. So much value. The P.E.K.K.A leaves the Golem just to take down the Night Witch. Not what you want if you're Islaw.
The hard counter by Lupanji, a great read and a fantastic deck setup for this game. Has not much to worry about as Islaw gets pummeled time and time again. Iwiz Miner log rolling through for the kill. Lupanji takes the 2-1.
Unbelievable deck choice by Lupanji. If you're going to run a Golem and you have to go against any building in the game, it doesn't matter what it is, and Big Mama P.E.K.K.A, you are not going to get that Golem to the tower. You can try as much as you want. You could try to huff, puff, blow the tower down, but it ain't going to go anywhere with a building and the P.E.K.K.A just destroying the Golem. Beautifully played by Lupanji, and he is going to get his spot to play versus Surgical Goblin.
Lupanji is a brick house. One more final replay of this last match in chat, and we got to see this one more time as this last big push from Lupanji tears the right side down. Islaw out of options and unable to get this P.E.K.K.A off his tower.
Yeah, and there it is. And look at how much damage even comes from the king. That one pump got punished hard. If you're going to run a Golem deck and you're Lupanji and you see that, you just wasted pump, you just wasted your pretty much air to really touch my P.E.K.K.A. I'm going to drop a P.E.K.K.A here. What do you have? Are you playing the cannon card deck that Vulcan made, you know, popular, you know, in the King's Cup? Yes, you are. Guess what? You have absolutely no answer to this P.E.K.K.A.
It became very popular at King's Cup. I talked to Vulcan, though. He actually said that he got it from Soaking here at the Crown Championship. So this is where you got to stick around, guys, if you want to see the most innovative, creative, and dominating decks in all of Clash Royale. Win there for Lupanji, though. He's got a hard task to go up against next. Surgical Goblin is his name. But before we get into that match, let's take a look at the lower side of the leaderboard. Baron and Loe are going to be duking it out in match 2.
Yes, they're going to be duking it out in match 2 for a spot to play Soaking. The loser of that will drop down into match number 5, waiting for the matchup of Surgical Goblin and now Lupanji, who just won that best of 3. Unbelievable game so far. It went the distance. It went to the 3rd game. Wouldn't expect anything less. These are the best players in the game, and I expect pretty much all of these matchups to go into a 3rd game, and I'm excited to see what they bring out. So far, we've seen Goblin Hut come out here. We've seen Golem. We've seen Miner. We've seen Hog. We've seen pretty much all different types, all different archetypes, everything being played in this game.
Everything under the sun. And that's the lesson that I learned from checking out the card popularity snapshot I'm still working on. We have got more diversity right now in the Clash Royale competitive scene than ever before. There are so many different decks that you can run, different ways to try to outthink, outwit, and outplay your opponent. If you can bring something that they've never seen before, surprise them, and get a hard counter sometimes in the case of those last games, you can definitely tear them apart. Pick their brain, and before the match, you can get a great advantage. If you know what they're going to be bringing against you, there's plenty of counters in the game. One ban is not enough to prevent you from being hard countered in these sorts of situations. You can kind of narrow down the field and get a better expectation as to what might be coming against you. But I got to hand it to Lupanji, man. He knew what worked well, and he ran that control deck time after time against ISL. Wasn't afraid to, you know, run the same thing again. A lot of players kind of mix it up no matter what happens to try to keep their opponents on their heels, but if you find something that works, why not play it again? Yeah,
if it works, why not continue playing it? But we have the next matchup for you.
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Who we got?
We got Loe versus Baron. This is going to be a fantastic matchup. The winner will go to Soking. He's sitting there, he's waiting, he's scouting, and that's why it's very important for, you to get that preferential seating like Soking did. But before that, let's introduce the players for this matchup. On the blue side for this game, we have the ladies' man, the master of the Musketeers, Loe.
Loe, the German, unaffiliated with any team, but wait, what's this? A tribe jersey?
What just happened?
Bit of a surprise as he walks out wearing some new colors. 10 and 8 in the double round robin for the past 7 weeks. He's got the winning record, but he hasn't been able to get a dominating position over any of his opponents. He's actually the only player here today who did not beat either of the other 5 players twice in their matches. He tied against Surgical Goblin, against Soking, against Islaw, and Baron 1-1 in their match score overall. He only lost to Lupanji.
Very, very interesting. But we have to take care of our red side player, right?
Yeah.
Coming in from the red side, we have the master of the hog, the hammer of doom, Baron!
Baron, the player from Team Nova, also from Germany, an 11-7 record. He defeated Lupanji twice in the double round robin that we had previously, tied it up with Islaw and Loe, and took losses to Surgical Goblin and Soking, the top 2 players. He's Baron the bronze as far as I've seen. He's been in the semifinals of basically every major tournament, but has been struggling to crack through into the top 2. That's where he's got to be if he wants to be able to make it to the finals in London.
Yeah, but guess what? Here's the time to do it. You're on the main stage. You're in front of a live audience. Here is the time that you say, you want to know what? My past achievements? I'm going to get to London. It's going to start here. I'm going to take home that $150,000 prize, and it all starts with this best of 3 versus Loe. But let's take a look at the bans. We have Loe banning the Electro Wizard. It's pretty much been the ban that's banned versus Baron pretty much the entire fall season. He maybe snuck in about 2 games without the Electro Wizard, but that's about it. Baron taking out the pump. Loe, just as we said, he's the master of the ladies, the 3 Musketeers. He's not going to be able to play that without a pump in this matchup.
This is very consistent from their past bans. Loe banned Electro Wizard in the first matchup on day 2, and he won that match 2-1. He switched it out to a Bats ban the second time that they went up on day 5 and wound up losing that matchup to Baron 2-1. So I think going back to the EWIZ ban is smart here. Baron performs so well with the Electro Wizard. Just like before, he's a control freak, so it plays so well on defense. You never want to give him the opportunity to go for that big counter push. On the other hand, though, absolutely correct read as well. Baron has banned the Elixir Collector and 3 Musketeers in their past 2 matches, so going back to what he knows Loe likes using, of course you would want to keep that out of his hand, right? If you could.
100%. I mean, he plays a lot of 3 Musketeers. What do? You ban the pump. You don't only take out the 3 Musketeers matchup, you take out the Golem, which Control does not like either.
2 Germans meeting up again in the arena. This is the Teutonic Tussle. Baron up on top from Team Nova, Loe on the bottom from Tribe. 2-for-2 trade as Baron rolls a log into the tower and starts off this chip damage on the right side.
There's a Mega Minion on the left-hand side for Baron, shaking his head, not too happy with his cycle. Ice Golem coming down from Loe. Miner, so it looks like it's going to be a Miner deck from Baron. Going to get off a little bit of chip on the right-hand side.
Inferno Dragon, interesting choice from Loe to burn through that right side push. Not too threatening in the early stages here. You'd have to expect something big from Baron to want to include something like that in your deck.
Oh, there's a balloon coming down on the left-hand lane. Does he have a zap to reset this Inferno Dragon? If he does, it's gonna connect.
Left side gets a big hit. Here comes the boom. Loe wipes that tower down to half hit points, and Baron's got a pretty good counterattack put together. Mega Minion and an Inferno Dragon distracted by the bats, though. Are they going to get a connection?
Oh, Inferno Dragon on the tower. He's got to waste the zap for this. Is he going to just take the damage?
So close. Did not get it to that third tier of damage. That's when it starts to really pulverize the tower. Only whittling away a few hundred hit points there. Loe comes out ahead in terms of damage, but Baron's got a little bit more elixir to play around with here. Starts off with a Giant in the back.
Yeah, so a Giant coming out in the back, gonna slowly walk. Mega Knight for Loe. Can he just shut down this Giant, this balloon, though? One more connection from a balloon, and Baron is going to be in serious trouble.
Loe is going to have to lean on this Mega Knight to try to get rid of the Giant, but minions are a great component to this push. Baron has got a great assault going on this left side. Inferno Dragon burning up the little tiny goblins in the back and relying on these minions in front to keep Loe's Dragon distracted. Baron gets a nice hit in the back from the Miner, and still a full health Inferno Dragon just about.
Yeah, this
finally taken down by bats.
This is going to be a huge problem if Baron has no way to reset the Inferno Dragon of Loe. This is going to be a very uphill battle.
Super aggressive push from Baron. Giant right on the bridge as Goblins try to start connecting with the tower. Minions gonna get there first, though. The zap coming in from Loe to try to get the reset on there. Not working too well, though. Left lane down to 536 as Baron pulls ahead.
Yeah, he's going to have to get down something that's going to connect on this left-hand side. There's a Miner. He opts to not use the balloon. Oh, Miner on defense for Baron. Is this Mega Knight going to connect onto the tower? Oh, it jumps over the log.
Just barely misses the tower. Wipes out those Goblins in the back. But Baron holds on to his damage advantage. Only 440 on that left side tower. Has he got a big spell?
Oh, I don't know. Here comes a balloon on the left-hand lane. This is the balloon that's got to connect to the tower. Is he going to zap or is he just going to let it go? The zap.
Wow, Balloon's so close to connecting, but can't quite reach it there. Log Miner might be enough. Baron sends it in, squashes the Goblins on the left, but he pushes the Miner off just in time. 24 hit points left.
232 left on the left-hand side. The poison comes in. There it is.
Woo! Clutch final spell in Baron's deck takes that thing down for the 1-0 lead over Loe.
Beautifully played by Baron. An unbelievable Miner cycle. He's been playing that a ton in this matchup. No Elixir Wizard to reset the aggro of the Inferno Dragon. No problem. No problem.
Baron is one of the players who gets into 2-1 matches more than anyone else, though. I think that Loe fought really well in that last game, and he got in a few tough positions. Let's see one of them right now. I think we've got a replay of one of those times when Baron was able to pull ahead.
Yeah, and here it is, the Miner just chipping away, but look at this log with the Miner. The two Goblins die in the back. The Goblins mispredicted, and guess what? Even if they were predicted, that log was ready to clean them up. So much damage coming in, puts it in 2 chips of poison range. Poison comes out, game is over.
Boom. Starting off strong 1-0. Baron is going to be trying to keep the momentum up. Let's take a look at the post-match recap here. Just about the same on cards played. You saw more spells from Baron, though, and especially at the end there, that's really what set him ahead. He held on to that poison the whole time, but Zap resetting that Inferno Dragon was so crucial in preventing it from burning up his Giants.
Yeah, and just slowly over and over again just got chip damage, got the Giant connection, but it wasn't the Giant that really was the problem. It was those minions that he had to zap to retarget off of his tower when they were both pulverizing it, and that push alone put him in a position where all he had to do was poison at the end to win the game.
Finished it off there, but I think that we're very likely to see a 2-1. I got a good feeling that Loe is going to be able to turn this thing around in Chen. What's your prediction on this?
My prediction is he's going to come out strong in this second matchup.
Okay.
He might run a Hog Loe. He probably will run Hog, maybe P.E.K.K.A., you know. I think Baron, we'll see. He probably runs a Miner again. If I'm Baron, may as well just keep doing what's working at this point. But we're going to find out what they play. Loe throwing out Nice Golem to start off the game.
And a nice Spirit down the right side for Baron. It's getting a little frosty in the arena here as Loy adds on a Hog Rider.
And there's a Hog Rider on the left-hand side from Loe. Oh, a lot of damage coming off. Oh, wow, that is a ton. But there's another Hog Rider from Baron coming in on the left, the Master of the Hog, and that's going to hit once. And the Mega Knight clears it out.
Goblins to shut down the Princess over on the right. No counter from Baron, and that's fine. You don't necessarily need all that ship damage from the Princess. Unfortunate for him, though, that he's been splitting his damage up a little bit on the left and right. Loe, however, has been able to focus fire on that left side hard, bringing it down to 1672.
Yeah, just chip, 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 chip. That one Hog did so much damage. Mega Knight versus Mini P.E.K.K.A. It's going to be very interesting to see who's going to be able to win this matchup.
Ice Golem blocking out in front for these bats. It will be able to kill him if it pops right on top of him. One tiny little Ice Spirit and one more bat on the backside keeps all but one hit off of Baron's left side tower.
Hog Rider on the left-hand side coming out, airs a Mega Knight, and that's going to clobber down Baron's Hog.
No hits whatsoever for the Hog. Nice, big, heavy push from Loe out the left. He's only shown 5 cards this whole game, though. Not really cycling through the rest of his deck, just playing what he knows is going to work. Baron with a few more options, though. He's been happy to run through 7 of the different 8 cards.
Mini
Haven't quite seen what he's got. To strike at the tower, though. Yeah, Baron playing relatively defensively so far. Hasn't really gotten a huge Hog hit in there just yet.
Yep, this is the deck that Azili's actually got 20 wins with the first one that Baron's playing. This quick cycle Hog deck with the Mini P.E.K.K.A. and this might be a tower.
What?
They're going to trade.
Baron drops his left side tower, undefending force. There was nothing to stop the Hog Rider at all. Gets his opponent's right down to 183. Maybe he feels he'd be more comfortable going for the 2-1.
I mean, he must have, because he just completely let his left side tower die, and it did not look like it phased him one bit.
You don't want to drop your guard unless you absolutely have to, but here comes the split push now. Baron feeling confident on that right lane, chooses to attack the left side instead. You'd think he's probably got Fireball or Poison to finish out that right side tower if he's not going to worry about chipping away at it.
Oh, here comes the Hog Rider on the right-hand side from Loe. Can he connect? Wow, Mini P.E.K.K.A. just doing work to this Hog Rider.
Wipes it out, and it's the bats that are finally able to kill the Mega Knight. No more support on that side, and finally the Hog Rider wipes out the right lane. That's going to put this thing into overtime as Baron and Loe, tied up 1-1 now, are going to contend for that final crown.
Inferno Dragon just still alive, just sitting in the middle of the map. He's just having a picnic over there, you know, eating a little bit. Just kind of waiting.
Nice Princess catch out the left side. Baron prevents the bats from taking his lady out. Oh, Hog Rider, not a chance of connecting, though.
The Mega Knight is just so valuable, and now this huge push, he has to rocket it.
Wow. Big commitment from Baron, but he keeps the damage off the tower. A little bit of the Ice Spirit at the final throws there on the right side. Keeps that off the tower.
Hog Rider comes in on the left-hand lane with the bats.
Yes, it is. Good for 1, taking it down to 1646, but Baron is still a little bit behind in damage.
Every bit matters. Mega Knight dropped. Wow, offensively.
Hyper-aggressive play here from Loe, really trying to drill in hard. Can he get the punish? Baron with the rocket once again wipes out the Hog Rider on the right.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to play that rocket every single time a Hog is played, and this Hog is going to get a connection. It's going to get off one.
Can't quite buy a second hit there. Baron without the bats this time, though, is going to have a little bit of difficulty having to cycle back to something. Here we go. Now taking out the Inferno Dragon.
Just a little bit late on those bats. Could have saved that Princess.
I think he had to cycle back into the bats.
Yeah. Mini P.E.K.K.A. Oh, wow. The quick cycle is just too much for Loe. Every single time he wants to play a Hog Rider, there's either a Mini P.E.K.K.A. or a Rocket. Hog Rider coming in from Baron. This is going to connect. No.
Getting awfully close, but the Mega Knight Bats combo will be able to shut it down. Baron's defensive Princess here. We'll be able to take out these bats, but needs something else for this Mega Knight. Mini P.E.K.K.A. has been the preferred line of attack here, but whoa! I guess it's going to take out the Hog Rider first.
Oh, wow, the clobber in time, and that's going to get a shot on the tower.
Zap takes out most of the bats, but misses 2 of them. Unfortunate for Loe.
Oh, no, Inferno Dragon, it's alive.
Uh-oh, it's about to lock the tower. Left side's getting awfully close.
This
Hog
might be the
Rider hits
game on the
left side,
left, though.
but Inferno Tower locks the king. Burning him down to 1742, but Baron knew he had just enough defense to keep it off. 1 minute left in overtime here, ladies and gentlemen.
It's going to be close. Hog Rider trying to get off some shots. It's only going to get off one. 746 on the right. Mega Knight, though, clobber in time.
Wow, knocks him back with a log, but Baron's King now down to 1022, and he's got to keep defending against these Inferno Dragons.
Yeah, but here's this Hog Rider. This is going to get a shot. No, another Mega Knight, but it does!
Wow. Rocket for the win. Baron's got the final blow. Drop it on the tower, and that's the way to go. 2-0 victory over Loi. Baron takes the sweep.
That 2-0 victory for Baron. Gonna get him the victory. Gonna get him continuing in the winner's bracket. He's going up versus Soking. Loe still waiting to see his next opponent. He'll be dropped down to the lower bracket. I guess you can't say the loser's bracket because you still could win it all from the lower bracket. But it's going to be a little bit tougher in a double elimination bracket. You don't want to drop the first one close. But hey, guess what? No big deal. We've seen it before. The loser of the first match can come all the way back. Top two make it to London.
Sure can. I think I saw a look of despair on Loi's face as he saw that Hog Rider break through the defenses. Mega Knight and Goblins, it's a lot of damage stacked up and even a knockback ability when the Mega Knight lands, but just wasn't enough to keep that one tiny little hit from the Hog Rider from connecting onto the tower. And even though his tower still stood with about 400 hit points left, he had a pretty good guess that a rocket was coming in soon. Baron's final heavy card landing on that left side and taking it down. There's actually the Ice Golem Nova from Baron that took it down within range. It was at 494. Did you notice that? It would have been 1 hit point away from dying with just the rocket landing.
With just the rocket landing, but he did have a log. He was so happy. The moment that Hog hit, I mean, Mega Knight Goblins, how does that not defend a Hog Rider? Well, you just saw. If you outcycle your opponent and you have a quicker deck, you'll be able to get it by. But let's look at how the bracket's shaping up. Baron going to be moving on. He's going to be playing in match number 4 of today versus Soking.
That's right. Baron and Lupanji, both of the Nova players, won their first matches. They'll be going up against the Queso guys on top. Meanwhile, Loi is wearing a Tribe jersey. He told me before the tournament that he's not with a team yet, but he's showing his favoritism, it seems. I saw, on the other hand, the Queso player down in match 6 will be playing against the loser from match 4. That's either going to be Baron once again or Soking moving down to face him off.
Yeah, that is true, but Woody, we got to throw it back to Ben in the locker room.
Thanks, guys. Some great games that have been played. And coming up, we've got some even great ones. We've got Surgical, and after that, we've got Soking. So in order to provide a little bit more insight, we're going to welcome back a very special guest for this occasion. Please welcome Mifja. Nice to meet you, buddy. So, you both know Surgical and Soking quite well.
Yes.
What I want to know is, Surge is widely regarded as the best player in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that happens at London is yet to be seen. What I want to know is, what sets Surge apart from Soking?
I think Surgical Goblin thinks really, really fast. He knows how to react to certain situations. He has probably practiced them all. And I think he has really solid mind games. He switches those up a lot. I think that's what sets him apart from Soking.
So could you think that could possibly come down to experience, though? Surge has been around for about over a year now. He's won everything since then. Could that be that Soking's just relatively newer to the competitive scene? Will he grow into that sort of style of play?
I think Soking has the capacity to definitely become better, become as good as Surgical right now. Surge is still ahead. But yeah, I think he can grow into that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we've just touched on Soking being a newer player to the CCGS.
Mm-hmm.
I want to touch on, we've got Icelaw, Lupanji, Loe. Anyone else that you think could be the next rising star for next season?
I think there are 3 names in Europe to watch out for. We have Belican, Saint Belican, we have Azilis, and we have Destru. I think those are people to watch out for.
I've heard of those 3, and they certainly are quite good players. What I want to know as well, though, Surgical Goblin.
Yes.
You live quite close to him as well.
Mm-hmm.
What does he do? How is he so good?
He used to practice a lot. He has won so many events, got to practice with international players as well. I think that practice is very key to his success currently, and he just outthinks so many players. It's amazing.
So, you are also a player yourself.
Yes.
You reckon we'll see you next season?
I hope. I can't promise anything, but there's great talent out there, so.
Well, it's been lovely having you, Mifja. We're going to throw it over to our English casters for Game 3. Woody and Enchanting, take it away, guys.
Match number 3. So far, the bracket's shaping up to be very, very interesting. You know, we have Lupanji, Surgical Goblin. Then we have, after that, Soaking Baron. Going to be 2 crazy exciting matches. And we're excited to see because we haven't seen yet the first and the second seeds from the round robin coming into this next matchup.
Surgical Goblin managed to defeat Lupanji both times that they played in the round robin, and it wasn't even a close match. It was actually 2-0 both times. Now, Surgical Goblin banned Mega Knight both times against Lupanji. He knows Lupanji loves to play that Mega Knight balloon deck. On his other hand, Lupanji banned Elixir Collector the first time and Knight the second time, trying to find an inroad against Surgical Goblin, but the champ has no cracks in his armor, and he is going to be fighting hard to stay up in the upper bracket. He only needs to win 2 matches, and he gets to go to Worlds.
Yeah, the 2 matches, and he gets to go to Worlds. But before that, he's got to win this matchup. Let's introduce the players, shall we?
Shall we? We shall.
On the blue side of the arena, the man who had Balloon banned on the first game, hoping he can play it in the Crown Championship at least once, Lupanji!
Nova reclaims the stage, the bright, shining star of the European region. Lupanji, one of the most creative deck builders, and I think he's getting just about ready to launch his next attack against one of the most skilled, experienced, and highly decorated players in all of Clash Royale. Now, just since week 7 of the round robin, we've had the chance to see Surgical Goblin win 2 more championships at King's Cup 2 and also at ESWC Paris Games Week. And Chad, I know you've got a lot to say about this mastermind, this brilliant player. Would you please?
I shall. Coming out from the red side of the arena, we have the king of the rocket, the man who loves the bait, Surgical Goblin!
First time we've seen him take the stage today. He had that preferential seeding by nature of his wonderful first place performance in the round robin. He had a 14-4 match score. 2 of the games that he dropped were to Soaking, his partner in crime. One of the other ones was to another player from Team K, so it seems like he doesn't really have very many bad matchups. Surgical Goblin beat Lupanji, as we said before, both times in the round robin, so he's the reigning champ here and there, my man, and he's here to reign in the competition. He was #1 in the Crown Championship European Region Spring Finals. He was #1 at Gamescom, #1 at Gameopolis. He's got so many cups in his cabinet, from Nuvola Cup to the King's Cup 2. ESWC has won every single title there, except for the very first one he was at Paris Games Week 2016. This time he's going to ban Miner against Lupanji's Princess.
Yeah, the Miner being banned, trying to take away the Balloon Miner Mega Knight deck. You know, that Lupanji likes to run. Balloon gets paired a lot with the Miner. That's gone. Miner eliminated from the field for Lupanji. Lupanji taking away the Princess. The king of the bait is no longer really going to be able to play bait, but we have seen Princess be banned versus Surgical Goblin, and he swap out the Princess in the popular log bait deck, the one that runs Goblin Gang, that runs Barrel.
What did he swap it out for?
Knight, Dark Goblin. So we might be seeing that as a little mind game. You still take it away. I'm going to run a Dark Goblin because you might take out, you know, log from your deck. I'm going to make you make sure you still play the log.
Perhaps he will. Surgical Goblin loves playing the Dark Goblin. Has gotten great value from it in the past, but I gotta say, it's not one of the more popular cards in the competitive scene as a whole. I think that most players would prefer to play Princess. Wow, Lupanji punishing hard with an Expo right at the bridge.
Oh no, but he's got no answer to this Night Witch, and that's gonna clear out the entire Expo. and the Mega Minion, and he's got a full pump just hanging out.
A 5 Elixir defense shuts down the 9 Elixir attack from Lupanji, and he hardly takes any damage on the right side tower. Surgical Goblin with an incredible Elixir lead is going to be pumping up and ready to push.
If you're Lupanji, you don't even know what to do right now if you're Lupanji.
Oh, thank goodness he's got something in the deck to counter these pumps. The Rocket is a 6-for-6 trade that gets a little tower damage on the left side, but very likely that Surge is playing Golem here.
Yes, very likely indeed. That Rocket was a saving grace, but look at this. Ice Wizard does no damage to my tower. I'm going to let it happen. Golem on the left.
Just let it happen, Surge. Takes a little bit of chip damage out the right side, but knows when it's fine to do so. Defensive Expo not looking too good for Lupanji here. You know, this deck archetype usually ran Inferno Tower in the past. Expo needs something to burn through these heavy hitters. Instead, though, in recent times, they've been switching out to a little bit of an icy combo. Tornado, Ice Golem, and Ice Wizard all trying to get just enough splash damage to keep these big pushes off, but it's looking deadly right now. Lumberjack is still quite healthy.
Look at how much life the Golem has. It just explodes now. And he pumps knowing Lupanji just wasted all of his elixir. He can't afford to rocket this pump.
Lupanji not really taking very much damage there just yet, but he did have to drop a lot of juice. And just as you said, Surgical Goblin knows that he's in the elixir advantage position still. Pumping right in front of the King Tower is the safest way to do it. You don't have to worry about a rocket hitting your tower and the Elixir Collector at the same time. And it's another defensive Expo coming in from Lupanji.
Yeah, the #1 thing you want to do if you're a Golem player is have your pump, be healthy, be alive when double elixir time comes in. Because once you drop that Golem, it's going to come in and it's going to be undefendable.
Expo goes down. It's a good distraction against the Golem, but it's not really getting a whole lot of damage against those big, heavy ground-based pushes. Locking onto the Night Witch, though, that means that Surgical Goblin is not going to be able to commit to this push. Right side pump gets going down, but Rocket from Lupanji, a great counter. Lupanji's ahead in damage now, despite Surge's great elixir lead that he's been able to hold for most of the game.
Yeah, but all Surgical Goblin has to do is defend this left-hand side, and this is going to be a massive game-ending push for Surgical Goblin, unless Lupanji could somehow defend this next Golem Assault.
3 for 5 defensive trade, and Surgical Goblin's pumping up again, not really committing to this push. He'd be happy to take the tower down, but he's just fine making this game go long in overtime as well.
Yeah, just slow playing it.
That Ice Wizard's a little bit too close for this big clump for my liking. Getting awfully close to getting taken out by the Lumberjack. Looks like the Mega Minion is going to go down, but an aggressive Golem at the bridge. Surgical Goblin is out for blood. Adds a Night Witch on it, and he's going for this tower.
Yeah, and he's just continuing the same push. Golem at the bridge, Night Witch, Mega Minion. Where's the Lumberjack? There he is. He's going straight for the tower.
Missed a bat with that tornado, though, and the tower distracted by the Golem. It's going to be a lot of damage out that right side. Bat is just chipping away, bringing it down to 400 hit points. Poison might not be enough, but the Golem Night Explosions will do it. Surgical Goblin for the win. 1-0 lead over Lupanji.
Yeah, and there it was. The pump that didn't get rocketed allowed him to cycle, allowed him to get down another pump, drop the Golem in the back, slow roll it, even drop down another pump on the back left. Lupanji overcommits on defense. Surgical sees that. You had to overcommit on defense, otherwise you would have lost your tower. Golem at the bridge. And then everything behind it, the family, the Night Witch, the Mega Minion, the bats that didn't get tornadoed. Oh, one bat on the tower, 67, 67, 67. That adds up to a lot of damage.
So important to get all those troops off, but that one tiny little bat must have gotten half a dozen hits in over on the right side. It really stacks up, even if it's the tiniest little bit of damage in the entire game. Only Spear Goblin does less damage, but with a raged up Night Witch walking toward that right side tower, there was not a whole lot that could be done to keep the push off. And Surgical Goblin still with the elixir advantage in the back. He was pumping up consistently the whole game. Knew that he had to go for that elixir advantage because little chippy attacks from the Expo or just dropping rockets on your tower is a good way to lose. You really got to punish hard and get in there with those big Golem attacks. Unfortunately for Lupanji, there didn't seem to be any way for him to ever lock on the tower.
No, when you get a 26 elixir advantage, whoa, X out everything else. Look at the elixir spent. 26 more for Surgical Goblin allowed him to win that game pretty handily towards the end.
For those of you at home, 26 elixir is more than 3 Golems. That's 3 golems and half a Night Witch.
Oh, 3 golems and bats. How do you stop that?
You can't, man. You need something big and heavy like an Inferno Tower, or like to maybe pull something onto your king to try to get it activated using your Tornado. There were a lot of creative plays there from Lupanji. He did an excellent job of trying to pressure the opposite lane whenever he saw a big attack coming in. He even sent an Ice Golem Mega Minion attack to try to get a connection onto the tower, but deftly defending against those little chippy hits. Surgical Goblin held on, and with the 1-0 lead, just needs one more win, and he'll be moving on to the semifinals of the winner's bracket.
Bats gonna be in the back here. Mega Minion coming down for Lupanji, but it gets really... Oh, wow, Mega Knight on the left-hand side.
Hog Rider missed its hit, though. I thought he was gonna get it in there, but
I thought he was too.
Gets taken down just in time.
The Mega Knight dance.
Did you see that clip?
Yeah.
Nim tweeted this out. I don't know if it got posted on Reddit before then or not, but Nim tweeted out this Mega Knight dance where they were like hopping across the river at each other. Go check out the Clash Royale Twitter if you want to see that. It is pretty damn funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Bats, though, gonna easily show... Oh, that those goblins gonna do so much damage!
Lupanji's defense falling apart, but he got a pretty good hit over on the right side. Terran Surge is down to 10-18, but that is still a really high hit point. Hog Rider bringing it down to 120. Surge is in the lead.
Yes, Surge is in the lead. All he has to do is defend this, and Surge...
Looks like he's not really going for the defense, so he's going to take a Mega Minion swipe on the left side tower, and I think Lupanji knows at this point he's got to go for the 2-1.
At this point, 2-1's the way to go, but looking at the tower health, he's not in a bad position to do that. Oh, the Mega Knight just clobbers down all 3 goblins, perfectly placed Mega Knight, and now it's just going to go on the offensive. Bat's coming down as well. The zap, is he gonna connect? Yes, he is! That's gonna be 1, 2, 3. Is he gonna get off another one?
Wow.
4 clobbers on that right-hand side, and just like we said, if it goes to a 2-tower game, now Surge is looking pretty good.
Right side Mega Minion trying to swipe through Frosty the Snowman, set up on defense. Surge goes down to 754, but it's another counterattack. Hog Rider moving in the right side. Not too much defense from Lupanji this time. It looks like Surge understands this is going to be a 2-1 game, drops his right side down to 12 hit points, but it still stands.
Yeah, and that 12 hit points could be the difference to the game. If you have to waste the sap, if you have to waste the poison to do it, but just like that, the balloon, he still plays the balloon. He got it to work. Is he gonna get the sap down? There it is. Oh my goodness.
Gets the hit. Surgical Goblin now in a lot of trouble as the bomb goes off and brings the tower down to 4 hit points. All 4 towers are still alive, but they're within spell range. This is looking like it's going to go to a 3 crown in chatting.
Oh, it's going to be close. The Inferno Dragon takes down the left-hand side tower. 4 Surgical Goblin. Can he get down the right? 4 on the left, 12 on the right. Can Surge stop this? No, he cannot, but it's going to go to a triple. Where's the zap on the right?
Need to finish that tower up. Not a whole lot of time. Lupanji sends it in, and here we go. A 2-2 draw. The final crown will determine the winner.
Wow, Hog Rider gonna get down the second tower here, and it's gonna have to be a 3 crown in order to win. How many times do you have to say a Hog Rider's got to get 3 crowns to win?
I gotta go complain to my friends on the internet. This is one of the most offensive games I have ever seen. A 2-2 draw going into overtime means that these players have been dumping the damage on towers with reckless disregard for their own hit points. Bats to defend against the Inferno Dragon, but that Mega Knight's connected. Balloon's on the tower! It's another base race!
Oh my god! Oh my god, the balloon! You don't ban the balloon versus the Balloon King, and you pay the price on the back end.
Floating through to victory, gliding through the skies, Lupanji's favorite win condition, making great value in this last game. The 3-2 monster win over Surgical Goblin, shutting him down. It's a 1-1 draw right now, and it's anyone's game at this point. Lupanji has shown that he can beat someone who's been dominating him in the round robin before, took out Icelaw, and now it's a 1-1 draw. He got a 2-1 win over Icelaw, though. He's completely comfortable, working well in these clutch moments, knew he had just enough hit points to hold on to this right side tower.
Yeah, let's watch the base race play out. Lupanji, all he has to do is stop this Inferno Dragon from hitting his tower. Guess what? The bats, beautiful distraction, the balloon, continuing. 1, 2, 3, boom! There it is. Balloon connects on the tower, and it's over. Beautifully played, and when you give somebody their best card, their card that they are known for playing over and over again, a card that everybody bans versus him, and it beats you, that's not the way you want to do it. But we're going to go into a match number 3. Wouldn't expect anything less from these players. Look at that. The elixir spent. Even this game, no pumps on the field. Even elixir. Lupanji takes the game.
A couple more spells from Lupanji. It says he's only got 2 win conditions played. I guess it's counting the 2 balloons that he got. But each time he played him, he got massive value. Tore apart that left side tower without much trouble at all, and then went in straight for the king, dropped a bomb on his head. You got to call the air raid sirens when you see those big old buddies coming from the sky. Skeletons dropping massive bombs is not anything to joke about. That is one of the highest DPS troops that goes straight for buildings, and with a balloon right on top of you, Surge just tried to eke out a win with the base race, but Mega Knight can't win that.
Yeah, he had no building to stop the balloon, no real great air defense. So he said, I'm gonna go with my push. Inferno Dragon, Mega Knight, hopefully can get down this 3 crown. But the bats, the swords, the small swarmy troops from Lupanji just were able to hold off enough time. And there it is. We have a barrel coming out from Surge. Is he gonna be running the bait with Dark Goblin? We're about to find out. It's looking like that's the deck that he's gonna go. The Master of Bait might be playing it today.
Lupanji, on the other hand, has switched it up. Looks like he's playing that control deck that we saw him use in the first matchup against Isaw. We got the Goblin Hut chipping away at the left side tower. Mega Minion and Log coming in is really going to be helpful for Lupanji. He needs to leverage that Log in order to keep these small chippy attacks off the tower. Maybe it actually is a different deck, though. I don't remember Giant being in the variant that Lupanji used before.
Oh, we're going to find out. Maybe he's running Giant Balloon. No, it was P.E.K.K.A. So maybe he's running Giant Balloon Goblin Hunt.
Ooh, the US survives. Gets a few more zaps off against the opponent's setup here, but Knight is about to go down to Spear Goblins. And it looks like Lupanji's going to switch lanes here, going down the right side instead this time.
Yeah, I think Lupanji might have a little bit of an advantage here in this matchup. He has the Log for the barrel. He has the Giant plus possibly a Balloon to really pressure. I mean, there's no Inferno Tower, which destroys a Giant. So Log's going to happen every single time.
Gibbity Gobbins getting rolled down. The Log is a cheap 2 for 3 counter, the woody weapon of mass destruction. But look out, this is why this Log bait deck is so deadly. Plenty of ways to set up a ground swarm. Can the tower deal with these goblins? Yes, it can.
Yep, and now Lupanji gets to set up his Goblin Hut, gets the reset, and Surgical Goblin with a rocket is not going to be able to take out this Goblin Hut with, let's just say, a poison.
Right side Goblin Barrel lands, though, and there's no counter from Lupanji. That is the deadly thing about these log bait decks. The cycle is so quick on them that if you have a more expensive setup here, Lupanji just not able to take those troops out. You know, he's got Zap in this deck as well. A lot of different ways to deal little tiny bits of splash damage, but he's been taking a hit time and time again on the right. Wow!
Wow.
What is that?
I don't even know what that is.
A giant deck?
Oh no, one Goblin! Gonna survive, but it will get taken out. The big bad P.E.K.K.A. tanking for pretty much everything. The poison coming down, and it's not looking good for Surge. He might lose his tower. P.E.K.K.A. still alive. Giant assault at the bridge. Look at this Mega Minion just doing value. No, the P.E.K.K.A. still alive. Gonna easily destroy that. Is it gonna take one swing? Yes, it is. Giant's gonna walk right for the King Tower. The Electro Wizard coming down.
Giant is getting right toward the tower. Goblin Gang stacks up on it, but that's one punch. 2 punches. 3 punches.
It's gonna continue.
4, 5, it pummels the right side down. Lupanji adds a poison up on top to get a little bit more damage, and he's going for the win. Surgical Goblin in dire straits as a log rolls through it. Top gets the win. Lupanji!
Oh, baby! Lupanji taking it. Innovative deck. Goblin Hut. Giant. P.E.K.K.A. You better believe Lupanji 1 win away from going to London.
Nova Esports and France advancing to the semifinals of the winners bracket. But have no fear, if you're a fan of Surgical Goblin, he's been in this place before. He knows what to do in these final situations. He was the champion of the spring season, and he's not going to go down without a fight. Into the losers bracket, but an opportunity to return soon. Lupanji, on the other hand, moving up, will be facing off against the winner of Baron versus Soaking. Let's rewind time quick bit and see what happened in this last match. And chatting, count it out for me.
Well, the Giant going to continue to pummel the tower. There's 2, make it 3. Are we going to add another one? 4 on that. He has to throw a defensive Goblin Barrel out of desperation, but look at this Electro Wizard. It's coming. Boom! Electrons to finish it off on the tower. No more. GG. Lupanji moving on. Surgical Goblin going to be moved down to face down.
But hey, Lupanji has just got the read on his opponent so many times. These are kind of wacky decks, and that's what we expect from Lupanji. He brings something interesting, a little different from typical gameplay, but those last games were just absolute hard counters. Lupanji's right side was still really healthy. At 1,500 hit points even, Surge barely even made a dent in it with that Logbait deck, known for being one of the most versatile and easily played and easily dominating decks in the world. A lot of people have said, you know, Hog Rider needs to get nerfed, Logbait needs to get nerfed. They're so popular among these competitive players, but you find the right combination of 8 cards and you can take it down.
Yeah, the Princess, no Princess on the field. Surge still opts to run the Dark Goblin deck, and I think Lupanji was ready for it. Let's take a look at the bracket. Match 7 going to be Lupanji versus the winner of Baron versus Soaking. Surgical Goblin goes down into the lower bracket to face Lowe. Whew, it's going to be an interesting matchup coming down. The next one that we have, it's like, Woody, it's like we just finished an amazing matchup, and it's like, you want to take a breather? No, there's another one just as big that is going to be played next. This fall finals, every single region, every single, you know, match has been intense, and I sit there glued watching Southeast Asia, watching North America. I can't take my eyes off of the decks, the skill, the gameplay that these players play with.
Well, it's chatting, just like you said, no breaks on this crazy train. We're hopping into match 4 right now. Baron versus Soaking. Baron with the 2-0 advances up to play against Soaking, number 2 seed. He had a great time in the round robin, defeated the champion Surgical Goblin both times he went up against him, but he's got some stiff competition now. It's Queso on the bottom versus Nova on top, and Nova has not dropped a single matchup this entire tournament so far.
That's true, but before we get into all that, we're going to have to introduce a player for the first time today. Coming out on the blue side of the arena, we have the Toupee Army, the Wizard of Electrons, Soaking!
Soaking, the Spaniard from Team Queso, repped an impressive 13-5 record in the double round robin. The past 7 weeks have been very kind to him, and that preferential seeding means he basically got a free win already. He's moving up to the top, but he's got an impressive opponent against him with tons of momentum. Baron in the 2-0 is nothing to sneeze at. He is going to be given a great challenge to Soaking, but Soaking actually managed to beat Baron both times they faced off against each other in the round robin. This might be the opportunity for Soaking to move on and challenge Lupanji to reclaim the title for Queso and be up on top in the winner's bracket.
That is true, but we're going to have to introduce our player from the red side of the arena, the Golden Shovel, the hometown hero, Baron!
Baron, the player from Team Nova, started off 11-7, and he's lost twice to Soaking. Has he found the tools to make this match in the win column? He went 2-0 in his first games, and I think that the practice that these players have been putting in up until today has really started to show off. Competing in ESWC, making it all the way down to the King's Cup in some cases, or just drilling it in at home on their computers, you know, working with their friends, their teammates. Everyone that has been supporting these guys is now watching, rooting for them, hoping that they can move on, because it's not just the players that are in the arena and chatting. It's all the fans at home, all the countrymen cheering them on. As we said before, Soaking is the only Spaniard left in the tournament, and he's got a lot of guys rooting for him. He's got a lot of weight on his shoulders now as the only player from Team Queso left in the upper bracket.
Yeah, and he is the second seed. But let's take a look at the bans. How about we?
Let's do it.
Here it is. Soaking going to ban Electro Wizard once again. that seems to be the case. Banning Electro Wizard on Baron every game. Baron banning arrows versus Soaking. Maybe a little insider information, thinking that Soaking had some kind of arrow variant deck that Baron did not want to see. Maybe he's been practicing with an interesting, you know, arrow deck that got around, maybe some false information, maybe some right information, but he doesn't want to deal with that deck whatsoever. Arrows gonna be eliminated, which is gonna open up a lot of things. No Electro Wizard, no arrows means block bait, which which Soaking loves to play, could still be in play in this matchup.
Yes, indeed. Soaking did manage to ban Electro Wizard against Baron in their second matchup, but he got a 2-0 victory both times. The first time was a balloon ban. I think that was back when the Mega Knight balloon combo seemed dominating and there was nothing to stop it. Baron banned Pump and then Graveyard the second time against Soaking. He's still been trying to find his footing against an opponent who's been able to wipe him out every single time. The Arrows ban seems kind of strange to me. I agree with you in that. Arrows is a very versatile card. It works especially well against Minion Horde when you can get that 3-for-5 trade. Perfect. But it doesn't see a whole lot of play because Zap and Log at the 2 elixir costs are just cheaper, easier to get off against these small swarmy attacks.
Yeah, but maybe he was trying to play a mind game with them, saying, I'm banning arrows so I can run my Minion Horde around the field.
I see what you're going with there. But starting out with the Log Bait attack here, Baron's going to send in the double Goblin combo, chipping away at that right side tower as Soaking, with a little bit lighter of a play here, is going to send in the Miner to support these minions at the right.
Again, it looks like the roles are reversed. The Miner player kind of playing the bait, and the bait player kind of playing the Miner.
And here come the Minion Horde. He recognized that arrows out of the deck. Means that he has a good chance to leverage the flying swarm here, and Balloon as well. Wow.
Wow, Balloon coming on the left-hand side for Soaking. Oh, he's gonna rocket it.
That was a great log earlier, by the way. I know you saw that when the goblins from Soaking were trying to go take out Baron's Princess, but still a great hit out the left side. Chip damage from Baron has been devastating, and he's starting off this game with the lead here. Left side for Soaking, already down to half hit points.
Yes, Soaking running the double minions, though, taking advantage of the ban from Baron. Baron looks like he doesn't have an answer to the Minion Horde. He's the one that banned the arrows, and it looks like Soaking is the one that built a deck around the ban of Baron.
Yes, indeed, reacting very quickly to that ban and knew just what to bring. A lofty goal here to work with such a high-flying deck. You typically see Giant paired up with these double minion combos, but this is a dangerous Miner. That actually might activate Baron's King Tower. Bad play from Soaking as a huge defensive advantage goes up for Baron now. He's got to keep this Mega Knight off, but I think that the Knight can get the job done.
Yes, he can, but the Goblins on the left-hand lane gonna get 2 stabs.
Right side counterattack, but not really leveraging it. I think Baron's happy to go for the 1-0 victory here. Just needs a couple of rockets in that Log to roll on the left side, and that'll do it. Log goes in, and it's getting awfully close on the left lane.
And there's the Goblin Barrel just trying to get down to that magical 493.
Ice Spear Princess, a great combo at wiping out those minions. Looks like Baron's going to be holding defense on the top right, but needs to use that Knight to keep that Mega Knight off. And can he get rid of this Balloon? Rocket's not going to be enough. The tower's locked onto the Mega Knight. What took that balloon down?
Oh,
did I miss something?
Nah, yeah, he rocketed it down. There's the...
Rocket's not enough, though. There was some other little bit of damage in there. Oh, that's in rocket range to the left side tower for Soaking, not looking too good.
No, 20 seconds left in this game. Princess on the left-hand side gonna get a lot of chip damage in. Miner coming up. Is he gonna be able to connect with this balloon? Is there gonna be a rocket on the balloon, or is he gonna save it for the tower?
Pulls it back with a tornado. I think that might be just enough.
What a tornado.
Wow. Clutch move by Baron there, leveraging one of the greatest versatile cards in the game, the Spell card from the Tornado. Can't really deal a whole lot of damage, but manipulating your opponent's troops is super valuable. I think that upsets have just been the absolute theme of the tournament so far. Lupanchi defeating the higher-ranked Islaw. Baron moving on strong now is in a lead against Soaking.
That's true. He saved the tornado. He created a storm at the end of that game that Soaking was not ready for. That was the last card in his deck. It had the question mark, but guess what? Let's watch the question mark get revealed, and here it is. That is not what Soaking wanted to see. He threw out the GG immediately because he knew it was over.
Nothing left for Baron to have to do at that point. You know, the last card in that deck has been seeing a little bit of changing recently. The Inferno Tower used to be the weapon of choice to deal with those troops that target buildings, and also for big, heavy bodies like the P.E.K.K.A. and the Golem. You got to be able to burn those up. But this time, Tornado worked out just fine, able to pull away the balloon, and holding onto that Knight every single time until the Mega Knight came in was what got Baron the win there. He didn't ever have to deal with any big push from Soaking. 1-0 now in this next matchup.
Yeah, in the next matchup, the cards played were kind of close, kind of similar, but the troops, so many by Soaking. The balloons, the win conditions of the balloons and the miners just were never enough to take down the tower. And gotta hand it to Baron, played it beautifully. King Tower got activated early and kind of just dominating performance. Soaking, here's the thing, that last card could have been Tesla, Inferno Tower, or Tornado, still would have won the game. Tesla and Inferno Tower would have pulled the balloon. Tornado pulled the balloon. Either way, pick your poison. Either way, yeah, well, you can't pick poison.
Might have been able to stop it too.
Yeah, anything could have stopped that. Then he throws it out, wins the game. Pretty much any spell in the game probably would have stopped that balloon. It needed to hit 3 times, right?
Except for the log. Oh man, I played 2v2s with Enchant earlier. He rolled a log through some minions. Can you guys believe that? Who does that sort of thing?
We said we weren't going to go over that on stream, Woody.
Oh man, I know. I just look to try hard every single game though. I know that these guys do too. They're working super hard to get into the semifinals of the winners bracket. 2 more wins to go to finals from this position, but lose here and you get knocked down to the losers bracket. Not a good place to be because it's single elim at that point.
Yeah, Baron, Ice Golem, Soaking, Knight, and oh wow! Goblin Gang! Ugh. Inferno Tower being played, but guess what? That's 8 elixir to stop a 4 elixir Hog Rider. That's not what you want to do.
Pretty gnarly. I think that Soaking was excited about getting that Hog Rider to go in with the Zap spell on the Goblins in the back. There's actually been no damage on any tower whatsoever so far. Baron trying to leverage these Goblins though, attacking with an Ice Golem Hog Rider Assault.
Oh, no Inferno!
No Inferno to block the Hog Rider, that's right. The Princess survives, though. Nice little bit of an advantage for her there, but Poison takes that tower down, 1,000 hit points, wiping out the remaining troops on Soaking's side, and Baron is now far ahead in game 2.
Yes, Soaking is in trouble. He just soaked an entire pretty much hog and poison. Not really what you want. Hand on his head. He's got to figure out a way to recoup and get, you know, pretty much damage on Baron's tower. Baron, it looks like he was, you know, ready. Oh.
That's something that I really respect about Soaking, though. He never gives up. He's a fighter till the end, and he's very comfortable with his back up against the wall. He's got a great deck here, but he's just being outcycled by Baron. This really chippy-style Hog Rider deck with so many 2 elixir troops can just drill in if you don't give it a chance.
Yeah, starting hand where he had to Inferno Tower, you know, on the bottom right, maybe he had it, drop the Goblin Gang. When you waste 8 elixir, you're going to get punished somehow, some way. These pros are not going to get, you know, let you get away with dropping 8 elixir for 4, down 4 elixir that early in the match, and you saw Baron be able to put down a beautiful push for it. Mega Knight getting cleared out, but here comes another hog from Baron.
Inferno Tower to block and distract. Interesting poison placement from Baron. Tried to, I think, catch the Inferno Tower at the same time. He will be able to chip away at that left side tower and take the Princess, but no hog connection for him this time.
No, here comes the barrel on the right-hand lane with the rocket.
That's very aggressive rocket play from Soaking, trying to dump damage on the right side tower. He gets it in and down to 1628, but he's vulnerable now to a counterattack.
All right, he got it down in time. Zap,
nice placement on that Inferno Tower. Locking the hog is exactly what Baron wanted. Or excuse me, locking the hog is exactly what Soaking wanted. Keeping the Hog Rider off the tower, but he's down to triple digits now, and Soaking still has quite a bit of work to do.
Yeah, Mega Knight coming down on the right-hand lane, gonna easily clobber that down. No big deal. Hog Rider coming in on the left with the Inferno Dragon. The Inferno Dragon locks onto the Inferno Tower.
Getting awfully close. The Ice Spirit at the last second, but Soaking gets the one face. Nothing to do to keep that Inferno Dragon from locking the poison, wiping that tower out, and that's a win for Baron.
Baron gonna take the victory, gonna take the match. He's gonna be moving on. Whoo, baby! Baron Lupanji, winner bracket final, or upper bracket final as we should say. Soaking and Surgical Goblin, the 1 and the 2 seeds drop into the losers bracket right away.
You know what that means, though, in Chetan?
What does that mean?
Nova now has a guaranteed player moving on to the World Finals. Either Lupanji or Baron are going to be advancing to London, and so that's one of the first team call-outs that we can give there. On the other hand, down at the bottom, Islaw, Surgical Goblin, and we just saw Soaking. The 3 players from Team Queso are going to be fighting to challenge one of these Nova guys up at the top. Loai's still there as well, wearing that tribe jersey. It's going to be a difficult run from the bottom of this bracket, though. Basically, the bye that you get moving into the preferential position in the seeding, Surgical Goblin and Soaking have now given that up. They're in the same exact position as Islaw and Loai, who dropped those matches. And let's take a look at the bracket now here. We've got Lupanji and Baron going into match 7. We're going to have a little bit of a timeout before we get a chance to see them. Matches 5 and 6 will be progressing next. Loai and Surgical Goblin have already been seeded into those positions, but we're now going to have Soaking and Islaw at the bottom of the bracket for match 6 to follow. Let's take a look there. You can see the winners of those 2 matches will advance on into match 8. But then, even then, they have to face off against the loser of Lupanji and Baron in order to challenge the ultimate grand champion moving on to the finals to try to get to London.
Oh, unbelievable matches so far, Woody. I know what you think. I know what I think. But you want to know who else what I think?
What do you think?
Trid, what do you think?
Well, we're going to have a quick break from the action. It turns out the preferential seeding doesn't count for much in this tournament, seeing as Soaking and Surgical Goblin have both gone down to the lower bracket. Let's have a quick reminder, though, of one of the prizes, shall we say, from this tournament. And that's going to be attending the World Finals in London on the 3rd of December in the Copper Box Arena. It's going to have the best players from around the world competing for a prize pool of $400,000, the winner of which gets $150,000 of it. It's a life-changing amount of money for one of these players. And it looks like we've got Lupanji and Baron. They're in prime position to get one of those positions. One of those players is guaranteed to be going to London. So that means that we might not have the Team Queso showdown that we thought we would have. As always, though, the tickets for the event are on sale. There should be a link somewhere around here for you guys to visit and get yourselves those tickets. They're £40 each. You need to be over the age of 16 to attend, and you can get some awesome swag. So remember, 3rd of December, Copperbox Arena in London. But for now, we're going to jump back to Woody and Enchanting to bring the lower bracket games.
And Chat, I know you've seen that beautiful arena through the promo videos. There's also some awesome swag that Trid mentioned. There's a nice little tote bag you get, a little beanie you can wear as well, and a golden barbarian figurine. You know, I actually have a golden P.E.K.K.A., but I think this is the first time the golden barbarian has ever been released.
I think it is, and it might be exclusive, Woody. You got to be there to get one.
Be there or be
square
without a barbarian figure. Oh, you're going to say square. Gotcha. Oh, that rhymes. See, that's
the saying.
A lot better.
Be there or be square.
Yeah. Well, I'm a square, so I wouldn't know the saying. Match 5 is going to be Loai versus Surgical Goblin, both dropping down from the winner's bracket. Surgical Goblin, though, in the preferential seeding, having lost only to Lupanji so far, and a pretty close matchup. It was 2-1. He got a win off of Lupanji, but in that clutch moment, just couldn't keep the momentum up. Surgical Goblin does not lose, though. He's not one to have ever dropped a live game, and so it's going to be up to him to go on a monster push, try to catch fire against Loai. On the other hand, the number 6 seed has got a great name for himself. He's been fighting hard to contend with some of the best, and there were a lot of players on Twitter when I asked earlier who was going to win this whole thing. Loai was one of the most popular answers. He's a dark horse, but he's been working very hard and has had a great performance so far. Just couldn't manage to get the win against Baron early on. Let's see if he can pull one off against Surgical Goblin.
Yeah, that is going to be no easy task to do. Well, guess what, Woody?
What's up?
I think we need to introduce new players to the arena.
Alrighty, Rooney, let's do it.
Alrighty, Rooney, let's do it. Oh, man, I am excited to see who match up in this matchup. Coming out, let's see. Coming out in the blue corner. Oh, man, it's going to be a great matchup, that is. He is the man who loves the Muskies, the Charlie to his Angels. Oh, Surgical Goblin coming out here on the bottom.
Surgical Goblin from Netherlands, repping Team Queso, coming back out. Got the win against Lupanji in one of those games, but the match is best of 3 overall until the finals, where we're going to have a best of 5. Surgical Goblin, repping Team Queso, needs to get the win here. He actually is up against the only other non-Queso player remaining in the lower bracket, so there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders right now. You know, I saw some of the leaders from Team Queso in the audience right now, you know, staring at these guys, making sure that they perform, hoping that they do a good job, you know, giving them a little bit of encouragement. And I know that he's got so many fans around the world. He's got a huge YouTube channel as well. Guys watching online here on YouTube and also on Twitch and Facebook, wherever you may be. Let us know in chat right now who you want to win this match, because the other one's going to get eliminated. Surgical Goblin or Loe. Those are your 2 options.
Those are your 2 options. But let's introduce the other player.
Let's do it.
On the red side for this matchup, we have the man who is the dark horse in this race, Loe.
I'll call him the Wizard of Straws because he is thirsty for a victory. Loe, recently moving on from Gangstars into Tribe Gaming Jersey, is going to be fighting hard against Surgical Goblin. He had a great run through the double round robin, but going into the bracket now, he's at the bottom. Ranked number 6 in terms of seeding. He did have a dominating performance in that final week. Can he keep up the momentum against one of the best players in the world? I know that if I were Loe, I would not have been happy to see Surgical Goblin drop in that preferential seeded match. The fact that he has to play the current champion and someone who has never lost a live event before since Paris Games Week 2016. Not an easy task whatsoever. We've got Elixir Collector and Tornado banned. Can you break that down for us in chatting?
Elixir Collector being banned once again takes away the 3 Musketeers that Loe loves to play. The Tornado being banned kind of takes away, you know, maybe Surge's Log B Tornado tech. It's an interesting ban. It's a good ban because it does, you know, pull everything away. It's one of the most versatile cards in the game. It shuts down Hog Rider. You know, it's going to open up a lot of options for both of these players.
Trying to keep the weather away, but you can't do it in the jungle arena. Overtime brings the rain, and that's what I know Surgical Goblin is willing for doing. He's angry about something right now. Doesn't like seeing the archers from Loe. But Princess has got longer range. She can shoot him down if she gets a chance. I just go him to block a shot or 2. Princess finishes off the right side, though. Surgical Goblin dropping more emotes than I think I've ever seen from him. Reaches 10 elixir, though, and we haven't seen his next line of play. Okay, Ice Golem to block for this knight, but he needs something else to finish it off.
Yep, Bats coming down.
A fright.
Hog Rider on the right. Tesla coming down.
That's what it is. Defending against the Hog Rider, keeps it off the tower. Loe with the defense. He's going to be a little bit behind Elixir, though. Can Surgical Goblin punish with this next cycle? Needs to get back to his Hog Rider really quickly before Loe can find another Tesla to defend with.
Log comes out, takes down the Princess. Here comes an Ice Golem with an Ice Spirit in the back. Bats 2 to it, but guess what? These archers going to shut down the Bats, no problem. And a Tesla once again to shut down this Hog Rider.
Surge gives the GG, not happy at all about the cycle that he's seen from this match so far. Loe, with very chippy, quick attacks, has been able to keep that right side under pressure and hasn't taken a whole lot of damage himself.
No, he hasn't. Princess slowly walking on the left-hand side with a mini P.E.K.K.A in front of it. Log gonna easily shut down the Princess once again.
Chopping apart that poor knight. Chivalry ain't dead, though. He's still alive. Walking across the bridge, though, unsupported. Looks like Loe will continue to focus on the right side tower. A little bit of chip damage from the Ice Spirit, though. You know, we were just listening to Orange Juice. He said that that's one of his favorite attacks all time. 1 elixir to just get a little bit of a freeze and pull some damage off the right side tower. Surgical Goblin is making good use of these cheap cards, but he hasn't got the big lock that he's been looking for yet.
No, he hasn't. Just trying to get by, but these archers are just too much. Here comes a Graveyard on the right-hand side. Ice Golem coming down to try to defend. Log coming in. Still gets a little bit of damage, though.
Yeah, a little bit of chip on the back end, but Loe can't really quite connect hard without a tank to support that Graveyard. I like the split here, though, sending in Princesses down the opposite lanes. Wow. Aggressive rocket from Surge to catch up in damage. He'll still be a little bit behind here, but that's got to be an easy way to put damage on the tower. You can't stop the rocket.
No, you can. Hog Rider coming in on the left-hand side. Oh. Gonna take down the Tesla. Log comes in on the right.
Oh, can't wipe out the archers though, and that's still a pretty mean push coming on in. Is this a graveyard or a great yard? Lots of skellies starting to stack up, and the mini P.E.K.K.A is not a good counter at all. Surgical Goblin gets poisoned as well as the archers get a few pop shots, bringing it down to triple digits.
Yeah, Surge just doesn't have an answer really to sneak through. Here comes the Tesla on the right-hand side. The Log comes out, but the archers already do the job.
Surgical Goblin in trouble once again as Loe marches down the right lane, about to cross the bridge. Ice Golem to block, kind of a quirky play. I'm trying to figure out what the thinking there is. I guess he wipes out the archers and is trying to get Hog Rider under the tower real quick, but just enough damage from Loe once again keeps that nasty Hog Rider from getting the swings that he's looking for.
Yeah, here comes a graveyard on the right-hand side, kind of naked. Isn't going to get any damage on the tower.
Wow, kind of unlucky spawns there from Loe. The mini P.E.K.K.A is soaking most of the damage there. That could have been a decisive hit, but couldn't quite tear the tower down this time.
No, Ice Golem mini P.E.K.K.A on the right. Whoa! Surge dropping a Hog Rider.
On the left this time, trying to keep the troops away from being able to build up that big push. And yeah, man, I don't know what this mini P.E.K.K.A is trying to do, but dealing with skeletons is not his forte at all. Bats are going to start flying into the poison on that right side. It's taking a lot of damage. One more poison spell will get the cycle for the win. Hog Rider is shut down once again, and Surge knows he's in trouble. Angry faces getting spammed at his opponents as he realizes that there's no way to stop this final poison ticking away at his tower for the kill.
There it is. That's going to be the game. Loe taking match number 1 in this best of 3. And can the champion of the spring season, can he recover?
One game away from elimination. The #1 seed who has never lost a tournament before. I guess we might be putting too much pressure on him. Surgical Goblin is going to be in a difficult spot here. You know, I heard he already got an invitation to the invitational tournament that gives a bid into World Finals, but you'd much rather prefer to just be able to seal the deal right now, sleep easy with a $15,000 prize in first place, or even $10,000 for second place. Both of those positions will send you to the Copper Box Arena for the World Finals.
Yeah, I saw some of the names on that invitational list. You do not want to have to rely on trying to get through that gauntlet of a bracket to do that. But here's the thing. Let's take a look at the recap of the match. 15 spells from Loe. The poisons just, you know, just kept on getting chipped. That's 240 damage to a tower almost every time. That adds up to a ton of damage. Surge just never really had an answer. Wasn't able to cycle fast enough. Just the quick cycle, like you said, the quick cycle graveyard got the better of Surgical Goblin in that matchup, and he kind of knew it the moment the game started.
The advantage for that Hog Rider deck is that it's so cheap, you can often get back to another Hog before your opponent can set up that defense. But Loe matched him cheap for cheap and caught those 4 Elixir Teslas set up just in time to prevent the Hog Riders from hardly ever connecting. That might have been some of the best defensive gameplay that we've seen in Clash Royale so far in the Crown Championship. It's going to take some hard, you know, looking at yourself, if you're Surgical Goblin, though, 1 game away from being kicked out of CCGS. He won't even get an auto invite back if he can't manage to at least get top 2 here. It's going to be a difficult run from the bottom, but if anyone can do it, I know Surgical Goblin can. The player from the Netherlands duking it out against the German Loe. Loe was not feeling too confident as he was going into the tournament today. I saw him on Twitter. He's like, I hope you are rooting for me. I hope you are sending me positive vibes, because he doesn't feel like he's got the luck on his side. But with the 1-0 lead against Surge, maybe he's going to have to rethink that.
Well, he's going to have to rethink it. Giant coming down from Surge. This is risky if there's a P.E.K.K.A or anything, but looks like Loe might be sticking with the same deck.
Huh. It's indeed very cheap offering here, but Surgical Goblin appears to have maybe switched into the double minions variant that uses Giant out in front to block. He's waiting to see if there's any spells in Loe's deck that could shut down the minions over here. Goblins are stabbing through the Giant, but he might get a punch off onto the tower. Does he think he's going to get it? Yes, he does. 1 little hit.
1 little hit. Still does a lot of damage. Here comes a miner in on the left-hand lane is... Wow, all 4 bats survive. Has to drop a Ice Golem to defend that.
Surgical Goblin playing very aggressively just to start off with, and Loe is going to respond in kind. Adds on the graveyard in the back, but hold on! Poison to take out the minion horde, and that is a solid 4-for-5 trade with tower damage stacked on top. Surgical Goblin gets whopped on this left lane down to 1758.
Yeah, he just knew the deck that he played against, and he was just ready to poison. Easily poison the minion horde. That's the only answer that Surgical Goblin had in the double minion giant deck. You know, if you run a deck that, you know, it's been around for a little bit, it's been around the block, it's easily going to be able to get shut down, and it's easily going to know what's in their hand. Before the minion horde got played, Loe knew that was his only answer.
Loe with a fantastic damage advantage here. He's running the Mega Knight in this left side to try to take down the Giant Night Witch combo. Without any flying troops just for Surgical Goblin side to try to take out this push, though, he's going to be in a bit of trouble. Zap works great at the smaller aerial attacks, and Poison can definitely take out the minion horde, no problem. Nice little tappy hitting over here on this left side. If Surgical Goblin can maintain this sort of pacing for the game, he might actually be able to pull off the win. He's 500 points of damage ahead on the left lane. Will Loe be able to leverage this Mega Minion into a counterattack? No, not happening.
No, and the problem that Surgical Goblin has is his only real reliable answer to a graveyard is either minions or a Night Witch. Both of those, if you throw them in a poison, it's not going to end well.
The thing in Surge's favor, though, is he's only shown us 2 spells so far. If you run 3 spells, you can often get in an awkward position where you never really have anything that you would want to play in your hand. That's what the Loe is facing sometimes when he's got Graveyard, Zap, and Poison in his deck. Left side is taking a big bit of damage, but the bats up top are trying to take out these skeletons down to triple digits, though.
Yeah, the Giant gonna hit the tower once. It's gonna, not gonna hit it twice, though. Ooh, this is going to be an interesting push from Surge. He needs to somehow get down this tower on this left-hand side because the clock is ticking.
Interesting poison play from Loe here. I think he expected Minion Horde in the back, but he's not going to find it this time. Mega Knight's still quite healthy out in front, though. It's time to try to strike back with some flying troops. Oh, no. Big aggressive fireball hits one of the archers, the tower, and the minion there, but a Zap takes out most of the defensive minions there, and we need to get this Mega Knight down quickly.
Oh no, Graveyard getting tanked for the Mega Minion, but the Mega Minion leaves.
Nice log by Surgical Goblin. Left side tower not looking too healthy, down to 325. Getting awfully close to spell cycle range at this point, but the Archer locks on. That's going to be a lot of damage at the left side as the Goblins get awfully close. 160 left. That's within poison range.
Oh no, that isn't within poison range, and Firebolt locks Zap range though for Surgical Goblin.
Hold on, it's almost over.
Oh, Loe! The upset
way! Loe wins!
He's gonna be moving on in the tournament. Surgical Goblin gonna lose the first 2 matchups.
The first player to be eliminated from the Crown Championship Global Series European region. Surgical Goblin makes a triumphant march out of the arena. You can't say he's a loser by any means. He's walking away with $5,000 and so many trophies in his stack to contend with. He won't be going to the World Finals unless he manages to win the Invitational. Loe is going to move on in the bottom bracket.
Yeah, he's going to be moving on, and what a performance from Loe. He didn't just win, he got the 2-0, which is what you need for a confidence boost to be going forward. We're going to take a look at the lower bracket, how it's shaping up. Loe is going to be moving on to match 8, match 6, which will be coming up. Ice Law versus So King. Are we going to see Woody the match 6 without any of our 1 or 2 seeds left in the tournament?
I feel unconfident at making any prediction about the way that this tournament is going so far. If I were to have like scratched apart like some like semblance of a prediction set for these games so far, I probably would have been wrong on every single one of them. Surgical Goblin eliminated. Some players consider him the #1 in the entire world, but not today. Eliminated in the bottom of the bracket, took 2 losses to Lupanji and now to Loe. It's gonna be the contenders who are gonna steal the crown. Someone is going for that trophy, and they're gonna be able to take it from the king.
Yeah, but we have our next matchup. The 2nd seed coming into this tournament, we have So King versus Ice Law. The only Spanish player, the only Spaniard in this tournament, the top 6, So King versus the Frenchman Ice Law. Going to be a great matchup. Both of these players in the losers bracket. Just like what we just saw, you lose this best of 3, and you're going to be on the outside looking in.
You know, you might think that it would be an advantage for Islaw. He did actually get a win off of Lupanji, who then went on to beat Surgical Goblin. It was a 2-1 result there. On the other hand, Soaking, excuse me, dropped 2-0 to Baron. But if we take a look back in time, you can see that I know Islaw played against Soaking before. Islaw doesn't really have the lead here, although he does have the momentum. I keep saying Surgical. Soaking won 2-0 against Islaw in their first matchup, but Islaw was able to turn it around. He got the 2-1 victory the next time that they duked it out. So even though Soaking has more wins overall, Islaw has got more recent wins and has performed really well today. I got to give the edge to Islaw here. I think that Soaking typically in most days would be ahead, but what are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are we're going to have to introduce these players and see how it plays out. On the blue side of the arena for this matchup, we have the man that leads the infamous #2Pay Army, Soaking!
Returning to his podium, the last remaining Spaniard in the Crown Championship Global Series, representing Team Queso. Hey, we said it before, Queso's going to have someone moving on in this bottom. He's going to be facing off against a cheesy brother of his from nearby in France, but Soaking has been doing really well. We saw him at ESWC Paris Games Week as well. Didn't make it all the way to the top, but he was top 8. He's been performing extremely well in tournaments far and wide, and I think it's up to him to prove that he can keep that energy going and try to get a win against Islaw here. He thought he was the #2 player in Queso behind Surgical Goblin, but with Surge out, that spot is up for grabs. Whoever wins here will be the Queso player who has advanced furthest in the region.
That is true, but without further ado, let's introduce the player on the red side for this matchup. It's the Frenchman. It's the one that we were talking about. It's the king at the bridge, Islaw!
You know, in chat, we joked earlier that if Islaw had a baby with the NACCGS player Colton, we'd have to call him Coleslaw. He's got a lot of food metaphors going around him since he's the Queso player as well. He's the brie cheese from France. The last remaining player from the Queso team, though, is going to be decided soon. The highest-ranked Queso player remaining in the tournament. It's crazy to think that they were the #1 and 2 seed. They pulled off the #4 seed. I saw was #4. He was close to getting #3. He was actually almost tied with Baron there, but lost a tiebreaker game to get bumped down to 4th. He might be the highest ranked one, though, after this match. We'll just have to see who is going to claim the crown of cheesy goodness.
Ooh, the cheesy goodness.
Yeah.
Well, one of them is going to be moving on after this matchup. Unfortunately, one of them is going to have to be sent home. Let's take a look at the bans. Soaking banning Balloon, the Elixir Pump, Balloon being banned from Islaw. How are these bans going to look at, Woody?
Well, you know, I don't think that we've seen the Balloon ban from Islaw recently. You know, I guess he was using it against Lupanji, but maybe he practiced kind of the same lineup of decks, and I guess he's expecting to see something similar as to what he saw from Lupanji. It's kind of a strange choice here because Soaking isn't necessarily known for being a balloon master. He is almost kind of like Surgical Goblin in some ways in that he can play a lot of different win conditions. I think he might be the player who prefers the Hog Rider most of anyone of the 5 guys who are still remaining. So the Elixir Collector, on the other hand, I think a little bit more standard. Islaw loves playing bridge spam, though, so you got to wonder, why didn't we take out like the Bandit or the Battle Ram or something? Because that's Islaw's bread and butter. He loves playing those quick attacks right at the bridge.
Yeah, he does. It's going to be interesting. Does he bring the bridge spam, which is, you know, he's starting to be, I guess you can say, known for-ish? I mean, he 2-0'd multiple opponents in the double elimination round robin with that bridge spam variant. It's going to be interesting. What do they play now? I mean, Balloon and Elixir Pump, not really what they're known for playing. Maybe they wanted to kind of take away the tier 2, take away the tier 3 decks. I know what you're going to play. I know what your tier 1 deck is, so I'm going to make sure I have the counters for it in my deck.
It's a pretty strange combo of fast and slow. The P.E.K.K.A is hard control. in that bridge spam deck that I saw us to play, but some of the fastest charging units can be brought in there to support it. Bats up on top are working pretty well against the Hog Rider, but no, they get zapped down, and we got Goblins stacking on the tower as well. A huge hit out the right side for Soaking as it goes down to 936.
The Miner just going to get a little bit of chip damage off the minion horde.
He was. No?
No?
Gonna just rely upon the minions that time to take that thing out. Decent chance that Soaking's got something like that in tow. We usually see these decks giving us some sort of defensive troop in the mid-range position, but has Icelaw got any sort of building in this deck to block these attacks coming in?
I don't know. I mean, Hog Rider comes in on the right. Is it going to hit? Yes, it will. It's going to do a lot of damage. No answer.
Look, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Wait, no, shame on you too. The fact that those bats got zapped the first time and the second time leads me to believe that Icelaw is kind of running out of options here. He's playing a very interesting version of this Mortar deck that I have had a lot of fun with. Mortar, Miner, Minion Horde has got lots of different ways to threaten a tower and get a lot of damage in. The thing that I'm worried about for Icelaw, though, is the fact that that right side is already so weak, and Mortar does not play well at all when you lose the tower. The fact that your opponent can just drop troops right on top of your siege placement is often a deciding factor in these games.
Yeah, that's what it is. And I mean, when you're down this much early with a Mortar deck, it's going to be really rough to come back. As a Mortar mower yourself, what does he need to do to get back into this matchup? Is it salvageable?
I don't think it is on this right side. It's a nice rocket to wipe out the Muskies, and they might get the lock if he's able to take out this Muskie over on the left side. Goblins to stab her down, and it looks like the Mortar is going to get a lock on the right side tower. Start chipping away at it, but this Hog Rider is looking deadly. Takes out the Mortar, and he's making his way toward the right side tower, all the way downtown for the hit to bring it into zap range.
Yeah, Knight coming in on the right, Mortar down, but the Ice Golem just going to be tanking. And the minions, oh, the Minion Horde comes out here. Oh, he just dropped the Hog right on the Mortar. That's not what you ever want to see if you're a Mortar player.
Well, we called him the king on the bridge, but I think he's going to be a troll sent under the bridge now, wiping out this right side tower. Soaking is now pulling ahead over Icelaw, and it looks like the 22 seconds that he has to defend are not going to be anything he has to sweat about. 3 Muskies in the center will be able to wipe out anything Icelaw can put together.
Yeah, 3 Musketeers just slowly moseying along.
Takes a furtive glance at his opponent now as he realizes that no more cards are getting played. Icelaw's already in the next game now. Shows the Rocket as his final card. But a decisive 1-0 victory for Soaking in that first game of this match.
Yeah, beautifully played by Soaking. Takes game number 1, sets himself up in a good position. Icelaw, let's see if he can recoup, recover, come out with another deck. I mean, Mortar decks, you know, aren't really that popular in the CCGS.
All right, well, they're not that popular.
They're not that popular. I'm not saying they're not that good. They're just not that popular.
Sure, all right, I'll give that one to you.
You know.
Let's take a look at the replay, though. We got to get back into the match because there was something that we want you to see here. Hog Rider on the right side making that first early connection. Zap takes out the bats up top and enchant. That's a ton of damage from a single push. 26 seconds into the game.
26 seconds into the game, and the Hog Rider did a little bit, but those Goblins came right in with it. Got about 2-3 stabs each, and they do a ton of damage. With every stab, it hurts, you know? It hurts the scene, especially if you're playing a Mortar deck, which you cannot afford to take damage as a Mortar player.
You absolutely want to hold on strong to defense, but with Zap to take out his bats, that didn't seem like there was a whole lot that Icelaw could do to keep the defense up. Hog Rider is certainly nasty, but it's kind of surprising to me that he actually took that much damage early on. I think he kind of froze when he realized there wasn't a whole lot that he could do about that big ground-based push. Minion Horde is big and heavy flying up top, and it's an awful sort of card to have to play right at the beginning. It's sort of a pocket card that you want to hold on to as long as possible and then punish hard when your opponent doesn't have the counter in their hand. Just turned out he had to play it really early, and that ultimately cost him the game. The indecisiveness there of taking a 2,000 damage almost at the beginning. Maybe it was about 1,500 to be a little more accurate, but way far down to triple digits from that first hit. Icelaw could never turn that game around, and it's going to be a big task now to turn this match around to get the 2-1 reverse sweep over Soaking, the number 2 seeded player in the region, the top seeded player who remains now that Surgical Goblin has been eliminated.
Yeah, but Soaking, if you were watching the entirety of the EUCCGS, he was on top pretty much the entire time until the last 2 weeks when Surgical Goblin then leapfrogged him into the #1 spot. But he's the one that's standing still. And it looks like a barrel and then a log. Do we have bait coming out for Soaking? More than likely.
Princess in the back as Soaking will try to chip away at this little bitty Ice Spirit push here. Log is out of Icelaw's hand, and it's going to be time for the bait deck to strike back. Right side is going to be Goblin Gang, but shut down by archers. No damage on tower, and Icelaw's pretty pink archer is going to hold on. Going in for a little bit of a counter attack here.
Knight just going to get a little chip on the Ice Golem. Oh, Minion Horde coming down on the left-hand lane. What is his answer? Ice Spirit only going to connect with 2 of the Goblins. Going to get logged down, but the Minion Horde is still alive.
One shot apiece to take them down, though, except for those 2 that dodged the Ice Spirit out back. Looks like a good log Princess combo will take out the archers, but Knight blocks her from getting any more damage on tower.
Just a little chip here, a little chip there. Archers do take down a Minion Horde very, very efficient.
Chips and queso, the theme of the game so far. Quick attacks from Icelaw. Poison spell kind of makes me wonder what he's actually running here. Soaking definitely going for the standard log bait variant, except he's added in Minion Horde, something that we typically don't see in this deck, but it works really well as another way to punish an opponent's lack of splash damage. Here we go. It's a graveyard cycle deck from Icelaw. Ice Golem Soaking out in front, and the skeletons are starting to stack up on the tower. That's quite a bit of damage as the log rolls through from Soaking to try to knock them off.
Yeah, it does a little bit of damage. Now we have a Knight coming down on the left-hand side with a Princess. Is Soaking going to be able to do any damage on this push? Archer split from Icelaw. Knight can easily be able to defend this. And what is his counter to this Miner? Oh, Graveyard coming down with a poison on the left-hand lane. This is going to do a tremendous amount of damage. The barrel coming in on the left just to take the log out of rotation. And a little bit of damage here, a little bit of damage there. Who's going to get the last bit of damage in this 40 seconds?
Well, Soaking's behind right now, but he's got plenty of elixir. The Princess is well positioned to get a few shots against this Knight. If Icelaw rolls the log through, he could get punished by a barrel out back. That is why he's got to play it a little bit more cautious here. Rolls the log through the Goblins, but left side's already taken a beating down to 1144 now, and Soaking is ahead in damage and not in a comfortable position to counterattack, although he's going to go for it.
Yeah, Goblin Gang gonna easily clear out everything. There's the barrel. Ugh. He does he have a rocket? That's the question. Does Soaking have a rocket as his last card?
Good chance that it's the last card in the deck, but can't say for sure. He is running a slightly different variation, relying upon Minion Horde to get some damage in there, so he could have instead Tornado as the final card for the deck. Probably gonna be a spell, but neither one of them getting great value against these big ground-based pushes that Icelaw's put together, relying on these skeletons stacking up in the back. Miner and Goblins are about to connect. That's going to tear the tower down. Soaking destroys Icelaw. A 1-0 in this game, and Icelaw is the second player to be removed from contention in the Crown Championship Global Series European region.
Icelaw going to go down. Soaking, the #2 seed, coming in, showing us why he is the #2 seed. He got down, he lost the first matchup, got into the loser's bracket. Quick 2-0 though, just like Loe, got back up his confidence in this tournament, and that's going to be exciting to see coming up.
A little bit off tempo here, but he went for the attack anyways. We got a graveyard on the tower. Big aggressive play from Icelaw to try to regain momentum in this match, but the ranged attacks out the back, and the Knight, who's happy to soak a little bit of damage from the poison there, is enough to keep that graveyard from finishing things off. Lots of damage stacking up on the backside. We got a Knight to try to keep these Goblins off, but they were going straight in for the tower. Miner supporting them as well.
And that was the little trick barrel coming from the sky. Log missed, Goblins got on the tower, and sayonara tower. Graveyard just wasn't able to do enough damage there to get Icelaw the victory. Soaking playing that deck beautifully, perfectly. A little bit of different, variation that he played, but still, same result, got the win, which he loves to play log bait. And guess what? That was kind of log bait,
Yeah, there's a little bit of
in a
variation
way.
in there, adding the minion horde, but let's take a step back now that that match has concluded. We should take a look at the bracket and see how it is shaping up. Loai and Soaking on the lower bracket. They've defeated their opponents and will be moving on. They still need to get 2 more match wins each if they want to be able to get into the finals for a chance to participate in the World Finals. On the other hand, though, Lupanji and Baron looking good. One of them will move on. The other gets knocked down, but they still only have to play against the winner of the bottom bracket, Soaking and Loai contending for that position. But those are your final 4 remaining players, guys.
Yeah, the final 4 remaining players. 2 will be going to London. 2
Guaranteed.
will be going home. Guaranteed. That's the best thing. You know, you finish in first, you finish in second, you get a huge $15,000 purse for first, $10,000 for second, and a bid to London where you can be winning $150,000. What would you do with $150,000, Woody?
Oh, man, I put it in the bank. I think I'd get a Corgi. That's what I've been looking forward to for a long time. I'm going to name him Teddy. I'm going to have a nice little doghouse out in front. But you know what? Let's get back to the action because there's no way I'm going to qualify for a World. We'll send it to someone who actually is from Great Britain. Ben, tell us a little bit more about this next competition.
Hey guys, 6 games down, still many more to go. And how about that? Last season's champion being knocked out. As I said earlier, with bans, anything can happen. So I'm just here today. We're going to take a quick brief view of bans that we've seen today and how they've affected match outcomes. So, first match we've got is Lupanji versus Surgical. Most games today involving Lupanji, you've seen his opponent ban Balloon. Why? Because he comes up with some weird decks that all involve Balloon. This is favourite win condition, and you've seen what he can do with it. The fact that Surge decided to opt out of banning the Balloon, you saw that match outcome, so it kind of speaks for itself. Moving on to the second one I want to talk about. That is Loai versus Baron. So as you all know, Loai is predominantly a Free Musketeer player. And in order to play 3M, you're going to need the pump. Those free ladies cost 9 elixir, so they're quite expensive. But without that pump, you can't play 3M. And that's exactly what Baron decided to choose to do. And like I said in my intro, Loai, he banned pump. He may have been practicing all week with 3M decks. Match outcome speaks for itself. However, Loai did come back. Well done to him. I'm going to take it over to match 6, throw it away to our English casters, Woody and Shine.
Wow. Matchup so far today, Woody. Would you have guessed that this was it? I can almost guarantee you that if we put out a bracket in the beginning for everybody to fill in so far till the end,
It's busted.
it's busted. You'd be sitting there being like, oh my goodness, now what do I do now? I think everybody would be already eliminated. Oh, that is what happens when you put together the top 6 players in an entire region together into a double elimination bracket and then pretty much guess. It's just like, you know, when you put the best of anybody together in a huge bracket with multiple players, you never know what's going to happen. It could turn left, turn right. You see the #1 seed in the round robin, dominated the round robin, no longer going to be playing today in the tournament.
Clash Royale brings ridiculous duels and sometimes some unexpected results. I think that some of these players have really leveraged the ban system particularly well to prevent their opponents from bringing the decks that they'd rather be playing here. The fact that we got a lot of hard counters early on, especially from Lupanji now moving up into the winner's bracket, suggests that he has got a great read on his opponent. I know some of these guys can't read minds, but you would start to think, looking at these match results, that Lupanji's got a great, foresight to what his opponents are going to be playing. And I think that that's going to be match number 7 moving up soon. And chat, we've got Lupanji and Baron still in the winner's bracket. Lupanji coming off hot with a 2-1 win against Icelaw and then a 2-1 against Surgical Goblin. I think that he's really taken the mantle from Baron as being the 2-1 master. Baron, on the other hand, 2-0 over Loai, 2-0 over Soaking, undefeated in the Crown Championship for this double elimination bracket. This is going to be a fight for the ages.
And not only is it going to be a fight for the ages, for these players, it's going to be a fight for London. Oh,
Yeah.
whew. Unbelievable matchup. Man, I can't wait.
Calm down, chat. It's going to be okay.
Wait, Woody.
It's going to be okay. We're going to find a winner. We're going to determine who's moving on to London very soon. It's the next matchup, Baron versus Lupanji, the German versus the Frenchman. 2 players, both from Team Nova. But these clanmates are going to be duking it out for the right to be on top. We just saw an intra-clan battle between Queso. We're moving back up to the top, and now it's Nova who's going to have to knock one of his friends out, one of his buddies. Either Baron, the 2-0 master who has been sweeping so far, or Lupanji up on top, who's defeated the champion.
Yeah, unbelievable. And hey, listen, you want to be in the winner's bracket because you got to beat them twice in the end. But let's introduce the players for this matchup. On the blue side, we alluded to him earlier as the Golden Shovel, the man who is 2-0 in all of his matchups today, Baron.
Baron, the player from Germany representing Team Nova, feels, I think it looked like he was a little overwhelmed or like surprised or kind of flustered by the crowd cheering him on. He does pretty well in these live events. The live setting is comfortable for him. He actually has been to the studio a few times before today, and I think that that might have given him a little bit of an edge in the live setting. You know, he dropped a few of his matches in the first couple of weeks when he was here performing in Cologne, Germany, but the fact that he's back now and these other guys haven't really had an opportunity to get accustomed to the setting, I think that that might have given him a little bit of a leg up. He's familiar with this live stage, and he's now guaranteed top 4. Baron the bronze, I called him, but he might get the gold.
Yeah, Baron the gold, hey? Two match victories away. But let's get into our red side player for this matchup. It's the man with the stash. It's right now the God Slayer, as you can say, Lupanji.
Lupanji, Nova player from France, has got these very polarized matches. And I'm sorry to say it, Lupanji, but in the double elimination, or double round robin that we had earlier, it was actually Baron who took the wins both times by decisive margins. 2-0 victories both times these guys have matched up in Baron's favor. If that holds up, he'll be moving on to London.
Wow, but hey, listen, we've seen Surge 2-0, and then take the loss, so anything can happen in this double elim bracket. The writing is not set, and wow, I think we could have all expected this. Baron banning the balloon after what he saw. Surgical Goblin banning the miner versus Lupanji. Not going to take that risk. Balloon, I don't see Lupanji playing a balloon for the rest of this tournament. Inferno Dragon being banned from Lupanji. Baron's been going to that a lot with his miner control decks. The Golden Shovel himself. Been playing that with Hog and Miner today. Now, it's no longer going to be on the field, but Baron can play his favorite card, the Electro Wizard. Let's see how this is going to play out in the matchup. No Balloon, no Inferno Dragon. What are we going to see? Are we going to see maybe heavy decks? You know, no Inferno Dragon to heat up and kill those golems. We're probably going to have to see buildings, you know, build buildings, but we're going to enter the jungle in this next match.
Welcome to the jungle. Lupanji and Baron are going to be grounded without a balloon or Inferno Dragon soaring through the skies. Baron's going to go on a quick attack here, trying to punish the Elixir Collector out on the left. Is there a spell to support this push? Yes, there is. A zap goes in, and that's still a pretty deadly attack. Bat's at it on top, can't get zapped down, but Baron's unhappy about this backwards push now. It's typically the Hog Rider soaking for the Bats, not the other way around.
Yeah, but he had at least a miner to defend that, but look at how healthy his pump is. Baron looking good. He's got an Ice Golem in front of a miner.
Commits to the push, but it's an easy 2 Elixir response from Baron, keeping the miner off of the left side tower. But here comes the Elixir Collector in from Lupanji, pumping up in the back. You know, I might have even been willing to still poison down the center Elixir Collector and hit that left side tower at the same time. Either way, he's going to get about 4 or 5 drops of juice out of Lupanji's bank there, but Lupanji now far ahead in Elixir, sending in the 3 Musketeers.
Yeah, use that Ice Golem to be able to cycle to his next pump, making Baron waste Elixir to defend. Beautifully played, and now Lupanji. Battle Ram on the left, double Muskies on the right. The single Musketeer on the left-hand lane is gonna get taken out. Barbarians going straight for the tower. Bats trying to distract. Oh, but there's a minion horde, Woody, on the right-hand side.
Zap it down, but the left side from Lupanji is still making a great connection, chopping it down to 878. Barbarian and Musketeer, the classic duo. Big, heavy, beefy troops out in front from the Battle Ram to block for the lady out and back, getting a lot of damage off the left side. We did see a good investment on Baron's part, the Electro Wizard trying to take apart that Battle Ram, but it's a perfect lightning rod, and it does a great job against the zappy power of the E-Wiz as well.
Yeah, no more pumping from Lupanji. He's going to go straight for the action. Triple Muskies down in the back. There's the poison. There's the Battle Ram on the right. Is it going to be an Electro Wizard on top of it? Yes, it is. Oh, Ice Golem defending the left-hand side from the Musketeer, but the Miner just going to get some chip. Woody, is it going to connect?
Oh, not quite. The Musketeer kept off by the P.E.K.K.A there. Heavy-handed defense from Baron, but he had to keep the damage off the tower. That Ice Golem marched in a little bit too soon for my taste. Looks like he actually didn't get it within tower range, but wow, mega aggressive. 3 Musketeers from Lupanji all in the same lane, trying to keep that left side healthy, but P.E.K.K.A took a lot of hits, and the Hog Rider is able to take it down to 500. Even more with the poison damage stacked on top. Baron's now ahead in damage.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting finish to this matchup. 20 seconds left. If people don't get damage off now, we might be seeing a one-tower game. Hog Rider gets a swing, and that's going to be...
Looks like it's going down. Poison's already taking it out. Can Lupanji turn this thing around to get the damage in? 238 remains, but there's no way to get it in. Miner goes in too slowly, caught by the goblins in the back, and that is going to be a win for Baron.
No answer because he had no heavy spell to take down that remaining 300 life on the tower. The poison was enough. And there it is. You have the victory. And now you're sitting here and you're like, okay, now I can calm down. No big deal. 1-0. I am looking strong in this matchup.
That was me directing, by the way.
Directing?
No replay necessary. We have got a massive win for Baron. Starting off, he only needs one more game victory to get sent into the grand finals, have a seat in London, take between $10,000 and $15,000 if he wins this one, and at least $7,500 even just for attending London. Top grand prize in his sights, $150,000 from that 400K pool at the Copper Box Arena.
I want to look at those post-game stats,
Oh,
Woody.
do ya?
Whew,
Well, here you go in
look.
chatting.
Wow, 5 spells to 8 spells played by Baron there. The deciding factor, that's all you got to look at. That one last poison only had Zap in Lupanji's hand, just not enough to take down, you know, a tower that's at 300 life. That's why rockets are so important at the end of games. Poison in this case, Baron just edging it out. Gonna take the win. He played less win conditions, but that poison was the difference in the matchup, Woody.
Certainly was. The fact that this big, heavy 3 Muskie deck couldn't just get a little bit of chip damage in there is ultimately its downfall. Baron knew that he could take a wallop on that left lane, but still keep the tower up and be able to get the win. Goblins predictively played at the very end there to keep the Miner off the tower was what gave him the little bit of insurance, the little bit of insulation, the little bit of protection that he needed to make sure that that left side, even though it goes down to about 76 hit points or so, does manage to stand. And you don't have to play overtime if you've already torn a tower down. Big aggressive play by Baron close to the end of that match. Got the job done. And even with 3 Muskies marching in, there was no way that Lupanji could shut down that big P.E.K.K.A hog push.
And it looks like Baron gonna opt to go with the jungle arena once again in this next matchup. Lupanji bringing out this Goblin Hut deck. Is it gonna have a giant P.E.K.K.A? Is it gonna have just a P.E.K.K.A? We're gonna find out. Interesting decks from Lupanji though. I think he's been the most creative deck builder today.
Yeah, it looks like Baron's a little frustrated by this pick. I think he's none too happy about the selection here. Nice Goblin Gang out the back. Might keep this Princess alive, and yep, she will stand. Zap goes down on the Goblin Gang, but gonna be forced to drop an Electro Wizard of all things to finish off that Princess.
The Electro Wizard's still gonna get off some shots, but does he have a log? Yes, no damage from the barrel. Very important that he has a log in his deck. And this is going to be an uphill battle for Baron. This Goblin Hut's just going to continue to spawn, being a nuisance the entire game.
Dang, send that Princess back to target practice. She keeps on locking onto these goblins, but can't manage to get the hit in. Finally, okay, she takes one down, finishes off the hut, but there's still another spear goblin out there trying to get a little bit of chip damage in.
Yep, huge push, and there's the P.E.K.K.A. So it's looking like we have the P.E.K.K.A. Goblin Hut deck. I don't think he's going to be running a Giant in this one. Miner coming down to take out the Princess on the left. Oof. Pretty heavy elixir, but he's saving his logs. Ooh, zapped.
Very control-y deck from Lupanji. Piloted it toward victory against Islaw and Surgical Goblin. Can he do it now against Baron, who is undefeated in CCGS? Oh.
Wow, that was... I think Baron thought that may have hit, yeah.
Yeah. Looked like the tower was going to tear it down, but hey.
Sometimes you got to protect.
I mean, one little hit from a P.E.K.K.A. can absolutely wreck you.
Yeah.
P.E.K.K.A.? We should call her Rekka.
I mean, Lupanji got it to connect one of these games already for pretty much half the tower damage to start off the game.
Holding on to that control, Lupanji trying to push this game back into the right lane. He's taken about 1,000 damage out on the left, and he knows that this is not the side that he'd prefer to play on if he can have his druthers. Right side Miner push is going to connect, though. Baron pulls it off with a tornado.
Barrel comes out, no answer. Lecture Wizard,
A little too slow. Yeah. Nice placement from Lupanji there. Good read against his opponent. If you have got Tornado in your hand, you can usually get a Miner onto the tower, onto the king, rather, pull it over, unless it's in that top right corner where Lupanji's placing it.
Yep, he has to keep on playing that Tornado that way so the Miner just gets pulled back. Log comes out. Oh, 2 rockets, though.
Getting awfully close. I find it really interesting that both of these Goblin Huts in the center haven't hardly even been touched at all. Lupanji with a 3rd one now over on the right side.
Yeah, he wants to tell Baron, if you rocket me on the left-hand side, I am going to send the entire army of goblins at you.
Looks like it's locked down. Will it hit the Princess?
Yes, it will.
Oh, nice clutch play from Lupanji. Gets the 2 for 6 trade on defense. Wow, aggressive rocket. It's time for Lupanji to go in for the punish. This is the final stages of this game, ladies and gentlemen. And Chad, what are we looking at?
Can he cycle back to a rocket in time? Baron trying to cycle back to a rocket as fast as humanly possible. There's the log. Where's the rocket? There it is. Baron going to take the match. Rocket gets down in time. That is why log bait is so important, Woody. It cycles so quick to the rockets, was able to throw one, then to throw another one before Lupanji was able to answer. Oh, that's going to be Baron moving on. And not only is that going to be moving on, he's going to be our first finalist, and he's going to London.
The first European to qualify himself to go to the Copperbox Arena. A nice trip out to London. You get to go out there on a beautiful plane, meet the best players in the world, hang out with your favorite content creators, some of the best casters, we hope, and also we're going to see the best Clash Royale ever for the World Finals. December 3rd.
At the Copperbox Arena.
He's going to be there. Who else is going to be going? We'll see.
I don't know. You said he was going to be flying on a plane. I say he's going to be flying with a rocket.
Right side Ewiz gets the lock on towers. Lupanji makes a desperate play to try to tear the tower down. Miner supporting the Ewiz push, but not enough. As we saw, Rocket Cycle is devastating. Only 2 needed to drop that left side tower, and Lupanji knew what he had to do. He had to punish immediately. P.E.K.K.A. at the bridge is just about as aggressive play as you can make it, but not enough of a push. The slow attack from these Goblin Huts, you know, is this inexorable march toward death, but you can never really apply a ton of pressure in a quick way, the sort of way that like a bridge spam deck could, for example.
Yeah, it's just that slow chip, but how about we take a look at the bracket, Woody? How it's shaping up, how Baron's going to London, and what the rest needs to do to get there. As we see from match 7, Baron's gonna be going into the finals to compete for 15,000. 10,000's already guaranteed on the bottom half. We are going to be going into match 8, Loe versus Soking. Then the winner of that plays Lupanji to then get that last coveted spot to London.
Now, we already know that there are some players who have qualified to go to London. The CCGS the Southeast Asia region qualified Tally Clash. First place there. They'll also have an invitational to decide on the second player from the region, but we've also got 2 players qualified from North America yesterday. Casting over in Burbank, we had Music Master and C. McHugh in the top 2 spots. That's 4 players now in total, alongside Baron, undefeated, 2-0 after 2-0 after 2-0 against some of the best players in the region, and may I say, the world. He's going to be up on top. He's waiting for his next opponent. Will it be Lupanji again at the bottom, or will one of these other players, Loi or Soaking, get a chance to make it to the top?
Well, how about we take a look at that matchup right now? Soaking versus Loe is going to be our next matchup of the day. We got Spaniard versus the German. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait for this matchup.
Well, don't worry, you won't have to wait long. This is going to be starting momentarily, guys. This matchup isn't really in either player's favor. Soaking and Loei faced off, of course, twice in the double round robin during the past 7 weeks. Soaking won the first exchange, a 2-0 victory for him, but Loei was able to turn it around and get the 2 win the second time that they met. So it's anyone's game at this point. It's do or die. These players are competing for 3rd place now and a chance to move up to the 1st place spot, but 4th place ain't too shabby either. They're guaranteed a minimum of $6,500 at this point. It's just how much more they can build that prize by racking up the wins.
Well, let's take a look at the matchup. Let's introduce our first player from the blue side of the arena. He is the leader of the 2Pay Army, the number 2 seed in Europe coming into this bracket, Soaking.
Soaking, the Spaniard, was in that preferential seeded spot at the top of the bracket, went up against Baron first and dropped that match 2-0. Baron is now in the finals waiting for an opponent, but Soaking could be the one to challenge him again. Moved down and faced off against his fellow member from Team KSO, Islaw, and with the 2-0 win there, he's earned his spot in the top 4 of Europe. He'll be duking it out against Loe on the other side.
Well, let's introduce our player from the red side, the newest member of Tribe Gaming. Hopefully he doesn't play a rocket in this match.
No missed rockets, please. Please, no. We saw that in NA. We did, yeah. Oh. Don John repping the Tribe with that huge flag. I'm loving it. He's got a lot of support in the crowd here today. Loy, the German, has been in a lot of different teams. Maybe he's found a home, and if he gets the win here today, he'll have a lot to be bragging about when he gets back to his fans here in Germany. 2-0 over Surgical Goblin, the reigning champion, and he had a close game against Baron. You know, the other German managed to take him out in the upper bracket, but fighting from the bottom, he's in a strong position. Can he defeat another member of Team Queso?
Well, let's take a look at the bans for this matchup. Pump, once again, being banned versus Loe. No triple muskies going to be being played for him. Princess going to be taken away from Soaking. That takes away his strongest deck, being the log bait. So, not going to see any, well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, Surgical Goblin did run the Dark Goblin version of the log bait, but he did take the loss in that matchup. Princess getting eliminated, kind of sticking with his, I'm going to be banning Princess versus these log bait players. It worked for him versus Surgical Goblin. Let's see how it plays out versus Soaking. You know, Soaking and Surgical Goblin, very good friends. Maybe they, you know, have a lot of similar decks. Loy was like, I'm going to continue to do what's working for me. Ban the Princess. Don't want to have to deal with that deck archetype and get into this next matchup.
I don't know if you remember this or not in chatting, but when Soaking lost to Loei, Surgical Goblin played against him not soon after that, or not long after that, rather. And when Surgical Goblin got the win, he held up a sign. You remember what that sign said? It said, "Revenge for Soaking."
Oh, that's
It's
true.
going to be Loei's turn to try to turn this thing around and pull off the reverse revenge. Get a victory against both Queso players in the arena.
It would be good revenge. I mean, he did say revenge on Soaking. This could be Loe's revenge on both.
Yep. Loei reaches 10 elixir. He's a little bit further ahead, it seems. Nope, Soaking's got a Mega Minion flying through the back on the left. Looks like they're both playing this left lane here, unless Soaking chooses to do a little split here, since 2 goblins down the right side.
Baby Dragon on the left.
Starting off slow here. No commitment yet from either player. They're giving a lot of respect to their opponent, making sure that they don't overcommit to one lane early. I prefer to see not much of a clash in the beginning than no cards at all. At least we're getting a glimpse into what these decks are looking like. And it appears that you think Loai is running an Expo deck here?
Yep.
There it is. Ask him we shall receive.
Oh, ask him we shall receive a rocket on both.
Kaboom. Drops it for a clean 6-for-9 trade, finishing off the Mega Minion out back. No tower damage from this rocket, but wiping out the primary win condition. Loai is going to be in a bit of trouble here if he can't find another way to get some hit points off that tower.
Yeah, going to be very interesting to see how this matchup plays out. Is Loai going to be able to connect with one of these Expos, or is Soaking going to do an amazing job at defending it? He doesn't really have that many ground troops as of yet that we've seen to really, you know, defend versus an Expo.
Baby Dragon flying in up top, but Mega Minion's a pretty good counter. Doesn't fully take it out, but I think the Ice Wizard's going to get a chance to do that.
Oh,
Soaking.
no!
What? Plays the Golem this time instead of the Rocket to counter. He needs a little bit of support troops in here if he wants to keep this Golem healthy, though. Expo locks on, and it's about to have some help from the Mega Minion Ice Wizard combo out back.
That it is, and with Pump being banned, he decided, I'm going to ban Pump, and I'm still going to run Golem. Expo locks onto tower, though, getting a lot of damage with the lock. That retarget, you know, once, you know, the Golem explodes, the units retarget, especially
pretty frosty in here. Double Ice Wizard gets tornadoed to the right side tower, though, and that's a really high hit point Golem that reaches Loai's tower. Tornadoes it onto his king to get him activated, though.
Ooh, double
Ice Wiz on the right, double Mega Minion on the left.
It's Noah's Ark up in here.
Golems activate the king tower. Ice Wiz on the left is going to get a little bit of a distraction from these skeletons, trying to keep that E-Wiz off the left side tower, but it takes a zap nonetheless. Loai is ahead in damage, but it's not decisive by any means.
Yeah, and the thing about Soaking is he has the rocket, but you cannot...
Whoa.
Ugh.
Punishes that Golem play out the left lane. The rocket will be able to take that Expo down. What's Loai got now to deal with this Golem? He can't usually do that tornado trick more than a couple of times. If he tries to pull it off again, it might just wind up that his king tower gets taken down.
We're going to find out what's his answer. You got to just tornado it back, and there it is. The tornado back, the double Ice Wizard.
Beautiful.
Ooh.
Loves it.
Loves it. Where's CWA when you need him? There's a lot of Ice Wizards on the field.
Right side Expo aggressive right at the bridge.
Oh, it's going to get a little bit of chip. Oh, and it hits the Ice Wizard. That's the second 9-for-6 rocket that we've seen today.
It is, but you know what? That rocket isn't quite enough to completely take the Expo out. It's not the clean 6-for-6 trade that you'd hope to get on there. Soaking does get a little bit of elixir advantage there, but he soaks damage on the right side tower. Now down to 1332. Another Expo coming on in to try to get the lock.
Yep, it's going to just do a little chip, but the go. Oh, baby!
Oh, my goodness.
Is it going to be in time?
It's a lock! That's good! Soaking is getting forced to zap the reset at Loai. A little bit underwhelmed with that hit that he got, but at least the Golem is marching down the right lane, his stronger lane. Loai coming in for the defense now. Right side for Soaking is at 1,002 hit points, so not too healthy.
Yeah, but there's only 1:25 left in this game. Golem on the left, that's
Whoa.
a really... Oh,
Whoa!
No, you can't afford to do that! This is going to be Soaking's push, and he knows it. Can he end the game here? Otherwise, he's going to take the loss. Golem, very, very healthy on the left. Tornado, that's not going to do much. What's about to go down?
Golem, Baby Dragon, Mega Minion, and an E-Wiz on the left side. The Rocket going for the base race. Can he roll the log in there quickly enough? That's a ton of damage. Second on the line. Loai wins!
Wow! With 95 health, any one of those units on that left-hand side would have taken it away. Loai, though, he knew that he could rock it there, and wow, he just got away. That was insane. He rocketed and was like, I need to cycle back to this, and my log just in time.
I am absolutely stunned, petrified, and even that log could not have waited another split second. One more tiny little bit of damage would have been enough for the Tupe Army to claim victory in the first game of that match. But oh my goodness, in chatting, can you believe that the Expo deck pulled off a win against Golem in such spectacular fashion?
Do you want to know what the MVP in that game?
What?
Tornado. Pulling the golem back, getting that a little bit of damage on, you know, the tower. Yes, it may have only been 3 or 4 shots, but let's take a look at how this plays out in the end. Look at this huge push on the left. Bloe waiting for that 2 elixir, dropping it down. Just
the baby dragon's burp was in the air, and it had already retargeted onto the skeletons because it knew the tower was going down. But couldn't get that hit off just quickly enough. You know, maybe if the baby dragon had like flown a little bit closer to the tower and like got that burp off a little sooner, he would have done it. But well, he stays at maximum range, he loses the game.
Yeah, here's the thing. When any unit is about to die in the game, towers included, everything else retargets.
Yeah.
And doesn't finish it off. So maybe the golem could have swung, maybe the Electro Wizard still could have finished it off. But the moment that projectile's in the air, that unit is essentially dead in the game's eye. Oh, man. I'm speechless still at how that ended. And now we're sitting here, Loe up 1-0 in this series. Now it's 1 match win away from Loe going into the loser's bracket final, I guess you can say, versus Lupanji. And then
the qualifying match, the bid to go to London. But only one game away. Yeah, if Loe gets a win here, he'll be moving on. Soaking though, yep, on the bottom. Refreshing his Tupe.
Yeah. Goblins on the left.
Yep. Little green men get a few stabs at the Ice Golem, but can't quite chip it all the way out. Ice Wizard zapping the Ice Golem. Electro Wizard, rather. What did I say, Ice Wizard?
Yeah. They all have very close names, you know, like the Mega Knight and the Mega Minion are both being played here. It's so easy to...
Mega.
It's a Mega push coming down the left-hand lane with a Hog Rider as well. Had some bacon on that Mega. Oh, well, wow.
Pekka does retarget onto the Mega Knight, following that zap to clutch that Hog Rider kill, and it couldn't have come at a better time. Soaking doesn't have a whole lot to lean on with this Pekka. She's not too high on hit points. But might threaten Loai. He might have to send something in to knock her down. Yep, I think the E-Wiz is going to get the job done.
And the big thing about that Pekka is that is one of the units in the game, because it's a heavy unit, does not get knocked back by the Mega Knight. Otherwise, that would have been a catastrophic amount of damage. It just stays still and kind of just like, I'm too heavy for this.
Now, this is a matchup that Soaking is pretty familiar with. I think that he's happy that he's running Pekka instead of the Mega Knight in this case. We've seen Loai able to sneak little Hog Riders in there to try to get the win before against Soaking, but I don't know if he's going to be able to pull it off again. Soaking with the damage lead right now. Loai's got actually quite a bit of elixir to play around with. He's going to block this E-Wiz with an Ice Golem marching back in with the Hog Rider. Is there going to be a Pekka coming in from Soaking? No, there's not. Kind of a wasted Ice Golem. He's going to go for the counterattack instead.
Yeah, that's going to be a tower for a tower here. I just don't... maybe that tower might survive on the left.
Oh, I think it will. Loai had plenty of elixir to defend with, no hard counter from Soaking, and Loai is ahead 1-0 in the match and 1-0 in this game.
Soaking miscalculated that he could have traded towers there and paid the price, because now look at how healthy that tower is for Loai. Just wasn't able to finish it off. You know, if you expect, you know, people to trade like that, you expect to get a lot more damage than leaving it at 12-14.
Ice Golem Hog Rider moving in the left lane. A desperate attack from Soaking, but time is running out. 34 seconds left to tear a tower down. Nice Hog Rider hit there, but you're going to need a lot more damage to finish that thing off just to put this thing into overtime.
Yeah, Pekka just going to take this for a ride. Is it even going to do that? No. Hog Rider for the 3 crown. That Pekka still being full life means not much. 18 seconds. That's going to get taken for a walk. I mean, the Pekka's not going to do anything. Hog Rider trying to get value. There's just so much life on the tower, Woody.
And that is it. Soaking's CCGS career has come to an end. Loai with the 2-0 victory in this matchup overall claims victory. The new Tribe player has kicked out the last remaining member of Team Queso. They had 3 players in this tournament, but they've taken all the bottom 3 spots. Ice saw Soaking and Sergio Goblin in 4th, 5th, and 6th place. Loe moves on to the top 3, who will be duking it out against Lupanji next to see who will have the right to duke it out against Baron finally in the grand finals.
I cannot wait. This next matchup, Woody, is going to determine London.
All the marbles.
All the marbles. Like, let me tell you something. If I was a player, this is a huge prize pool. London is huge.
It's got to be the goal.
It's like,
it's
got to be the goal to get to London, right?
Yeah.
Even if you finish second, like in the NA, it was Music Master and McHugh. If I'm McHugh there, it's like, yeah, I lost, $5,000, but I could still win that $150,000 grand final prize. Let's take a look at the bracket, how it's shaping up. Baron just sitting in the finals, waiting. He's already got $10,000 in his pocket. Match 9, which will be the next match that we cover on the casting booth. Lupanji versus Loai. Oh, man. Woody, these matches, the upsets. We already have our first and second preferential seeded players eliminated from the tournament. In North America, which happened yesterday, the first and the second moved on to London. Here, looking a little bit different, and like we said earlier, if we gave you a bracket to fill out before this started, now how it even played out now? No. No shot.
Done.
No shot.
All the prep work goes out the window. We couldn't have predicted this at all. But you know what?
That's that.
Who better to explain these crazy times when the world has turned upside down than the man with the spot in the grand finals? We've got Baron on stage right now waiting in the wings with our lovely host. Trid, take it away.
Thanks very much, Woody and Chan. Yeah, that is right. I'm sat with the first European qualified player for Worlds. Today is, of course, Baron. So first of all, congratulations. You're going to London on the 3rd of December. Can you tell me a little bit about how that feels?
Feels good.
Yeah, I can imagine it does, man. You're going to London, $400,000 prize pool, chance to win $150K. What do you think you'd spend that money on? If you came first place, what would you do?
I don't know yet. I didn't think about it.
Well, still a long way to go with that one, but we'll leave you with that. I want to pick your brain quickly as well, because we've had some massive upsets here, I think you'd say, to see now all of Team Queso eliminated. Is that something you expected coming into this, to have all of Team Queso gone by this point?
No, not everybody, but some, yeah.
Yeah, no, obviously we're expecting some people to lose a couple of players and stuff. But I mean, like I said, the biggest upset has to be Loe knocking out Surge. But there was a lot of hype going around Loe when this tournament kicked off. You could potentially be facing him in the grand final, depending after the next match. So, Al Lupanji or Loe, which one would you prefer to face?
I don't have like a player who I can't beat right now, so I don't really care. You don't really care which one. You'll beat him regardless. Yeah. Yeah. Good talk from the future European champion we got here. But so more on the topic of World, shall we say? You're obviously going to the World Finals in London. You know you've had Music Master and C McHugh, so at some point you may be going up against them, depending on how the bracket shapes up. So were you expecting, did you watch much of NA? Were you expecting C McHugh and Music Master to be the two that are going to Worlds? Yeah, I watched NA and I obviously expected CMC to make it. Music was a big surprise. Yeah. But he played really well. Yeah, so he did. He deserved it. He deserves it. Yeah, that's good, man. So he's going to be at the finals as well. Have you been watching any of the other regions, or is it just you've been tuning into NA finals? Like, yeah. What, Southeast Asia? Yeah, Southeast. Yeah. What did you think of those finals? We're really good players, and I'm proud of Tali. He made it, a teammate of me. Yeah, a fellow Nova teammate. There's a lot of Nova players going along at the moment, and there could be a lot more because, I mean, say for example, Lupanji beats Loe. Lots of both Nova players, and even at the point we got to win his bracket, when you face Lupanji, they guaranteed a Nova player. So Ash is doing some really good stuff apparently with his team. Right. Well, anyway, we're going to go and have a look at a video quickly before we jump into the next matches.
I'm Baron. I'm from Germany, a city called Hanover. There are many good players in Germany, so to be here in the finals, I'm pretty proud of it. I play Clash because sometimes it's cool to disconnect from the original world and yeah, just dive into the Clash universe. My favorite sport is tennis. And there are different types of players in tennis as well as in Clash, so you have to adapt to your opponent every single match.
Baron's gonna put this thing into overtime now.
My tennis style is like playing passively and wait for the opponent to make mistakes.
Good hit from the Hog as well. Baron is back ahead now in tower damage.
My Clash playstyle is pretty much the same, like chilling at the beginning, but then yeah, I go aggressive.
Can Baron get that lightning cycle onto the left side to claim victory?
Yes!
There it goes! Surge gets the good game!
Are you kidding me?
His first loss! Baron wins! Defeats the undefeated Surgical Goblin!
I love Clash because you can't really stop playing it. When you lost a game, you want to get those trophies back, or you play in challenge and you don't want to finish like with 3 wins.
For the storyline, that could not have gone better.
To play one-on-one against my opponent on stage was fun. But I hope they're not gonna be spamming emotes like high faces, and I can't handle that. I really hope that in the finals in London I'm gonna wear the golden crown.
Baron, first player in the EU region to get to London. That was a story about him. I'm interested to see who's gonna be the second story, the storyline coming out of the losers bracket. So far, Loe has dominated the lower half of this bracket after dropping to Baron, has dominated. I mean,
That's
he
true,
took out massive glides.
I think it bears mentioning for Baron, one more time before we move on to this next match, that Baron is the only remaining player who is also here in the spring. He's consistent, he deserves that spot, but who's going to face off against him will be Loe or Lupanji coming in from the bottom bracket.
Yeah, Loe or Lupanji is going to be our next London finalist, but they still got to play this best of 3, and I'm excited for this, Woody. I mean, this matchup could not be bigger. Lupanji coming from the winner's bracket, dropping right down, playing, you know, just getting knocked down from Baron. Both of these players, interesting fact, got taken down from Baron. Baron has beaten both of them to knock them to this lower bracket.
That is really interesting.
It is very interesting, yeah. But hey, guess what? You don't need to technically beat Baron to get to London. So that's a good thing for these two players, but they will need to do it to be the top $15,000 winner for the EU region.
Certainly that is the case in Shatton, and so with that, the stage has been set. The two players are ready to march out. We got to go ahead and introduce them now, I think, right?
I think we do. Let's introduce the blue side player. This player has not been able to play his favorite deck. The pump has been banned every time, pretty much for him. Let's see what he brings out. We have Loe.
Loe, the German from Team Tribe, got a 10-8 run in the double round robin. Has been fighting hard to keep himself in this tournament against some of the most skilled opponents. Defeating Surgical Goblin, defeating Soking. He's now up against Lupanji. I gotta tell you, Loe doesn't have a whole lot of bad matches whatsoever. He tied with Surgical Goblin, with Soking, with Islaw, and with Baron in the round robin. 1-1 match score each, but when Loe goes to sleep at night, he asks his mom to check in the closet for Lupanji. An absolute terror in the dark. A 2-0 match score over Loe. Lupanji could be the kryptonite to Loe's Superman.
Ooh, he already beat him twice. Could he do it
again? He's done it twice. He's going to do it a third time if there isn't anything to mix it up here. Loe has shown that he's got the skills to be able to turn around these monster matches, but right after Halloween, has he learned to face his fears? Can he defeat what seems like an undefeatable opponent? 2-0 in both matches that he's lost to Lupanji so far, but Loe has been turning it around and has shown us the creativity that can take wins off of really skilled opponents. And Chad, that's all I have to say about him for now. Who is he going up against? Let me know.
Well, let's introduce our red side player for this match. It is the man who wants to play balloon at all costs. for this matchup. Lowe, Lupanji. Lupanji, yeah. You know what? I'm going to predict the bans. Ready? I'm going to go completely off the radar.
Go for it.
Balloon Pump. I'm going to say that's a 95% chance. What do you think, Woody?
Balloon and Pump, not a bad guess. I'd say that Balloon is one of Lupanji's favorite cards. Loves running it with the Mega Knight. Pump does shut out a lot of the decks that Lowe would prefer to play. I think it's also interesting that this is the first time that we've seen in a do-or-die situation a French player going up against a German. We saw Lupanji and Baron play earlier on. Can Lupanji take the lessons that he had from going up against Baron and be able to get the victory here? You were right about the balloon ban. In fact, Lowe takes that out of the tournament, but Ice Golem from Lupanji.
Interesting, banning Ice Golem versus Lowe kind of forces, you know, no more really the quick cycle hog pushes, you know, that Lowe might want to run. It does open him up still kind of to Three Musketeers. I mean, sometimes they like the Ice Golem, but I expect Lowe to finally get to play as Three Musketeers at least once in this matchup, and I'm excited to see how that goes. The one time that Balloon got let through on Lupanji, Lupanji used that to beat Surgical Goblin in that crazy game. Does the same thing happen here where you let the three ladies come through? Are they going to bite you in the end?
The thing that I'm worried about, though, in playing Three Musketeers is the fact that Balloon is banned. That's kind of one of the better matchups that Three Musketeers has, being able to shoot the balloon and anything trying to block for it out of the sky. I mean, it could still work really well against some other big beatdown decks. The fact that it usually plays defense first and then goes on a massive counterattack and shut down those other beatdown assaults. But Lupanji isn't necessarily known for being the sort of player who is, you know, pegged to any specific deck archetype. Looks like he might be starting off with that control deck that he brought in the past couple of matches, though. He's got the Ewiz to start things off.
Yep, P.E.K.K.A coming down on the right, and Lowe, he's going to need some three ladies or something, because this P.E.K.K.A is going to chop down this giant with ease.
We are still in a best-of-3 setting here. Lowe and Lupanji would need 2 wins to be able to move on to face off against Baron next. These could be the last games for these guys. One of them, anyways, is going down.
Yeah, Cannon Cart comes down for Lowe on the right-hand side. Poison going to get a lot of value.
This Tornado spell also, I think that the Cannon Cart will survive this exchange. Moving in toward the tower. It gets in range as well. Pops around, though, and stunned by this Ewiz, forcing the targeting back onto him.
Yeah. Lowe's main concern is going to be, how do I deal with this P.E.K.K.A that's going to keep on chopping my giant every single time I try to play it?
It almost looked like Lowe was channeling the Tupe army. I saw he was adjusting his hair there real quick, making sure that all the powers that be out in the arena are working to his favor. He's starting off with a Night Witch now, and we can confirm that Lupanji is running the Goblin Hut again.
Yeah, I mean, if he wins, it's going to be this deck that gets him in. Graveyard coming down. Giant Graveyard on the right-hand side. What does Lupanji have? A log. And oh no, this is not looking good for Lowe. This counter push. Look at these Spear Goblins just sitting there stacking up. He's got 4 Spear Goblins and a Miner on the right.
I gotta hand it to Lowe, though. He got quite a bit of damage on the right side, and it was getting through a big defensive setup. Lupanji's control deck performs very well against a variety of different offerings, if we shall say that. But Lowe throwing the Giant and the Graveyard out that right side. The Graveyard, the first time you see it, gets a little bit more damage than you know, the second or third time maybe, because you don't quite expect what's coming.
Well, Night Witch on the right-hand side. P.E.K.K.A coming down here. Can Lowe outside? Oh, there it is. Giant Graveyard on the left-hand side. That's going to do it. Oh, Poison, though. Such a good counter to Graveyard. Tornado being played. Can he defend his right side tower? Lowe! P.E.K.K.A's going to swing! Oh, no, Woody, that one swing from the P.E.K.K.A.
Great hit by Lupanji. Right side goes down to 436. It's getting awfully close to being within Miner Poison range here. Miner is going to chip it down to 244. That is now in Poison zap range. Lupanji holds his left side tower, holds his right side tower, and Spell Cycle will claim victory.
Lupanji is going to be taking the first match. Beautifully played, and I gotta hand it to you. If you told me a player was going to create a deck that we really haven't seen that much of, come here in the EUCCGS, bring it out, it would have been Lupanji. But here's the thing, if he gets there on this deck, you have to give all the props to him for putting in the time, putting in the work to get this deck ready to play against the best players in the game. And time in and time out, he's continuing to go to this Goblin Hut deck, and it looks like nobody has an answer.
They're not even banning any of the important, parts of the deck. They go for Balloon instead. It's just something he hasn't played in a long time now. The fact that these decks are being used creatively to bring something new to the table is part of a story that goes way deep into Clash Royale history. You can go back to even the first King's Cup when we saw one of the first Golem, Baby Dragon, Lumberjack decks. You can go back to the recent King's Cup 2 where we saw a Golem Cannon card deck. Basically, every major tournament sees some sort of breakaway deck. And I think for Lupanji, it definitely is this control deck, utilizing Goblin Hut to distract troops that target buildings, get a little bit of chip damage in there against whatever's coming at you, either on the ground or in the air, and then using P.E.K.K.A. to wipe out massive ground-based pushes.
Yeah, this pretty much troops played being, the difference. Instead of playing a troop, he played the building with the Goblin Huts and just continued to get pressure there. And I feel like Lupanji was like, what can I take away? Like, they're going to take away Balloon. What do I add and kind of make my deck around that will completely, change the entire aspect of the game? Goblin Hut is his answer. I feel like Goblin Hut right now is Lupanji's Balloon, and people are just banning the Balloon because they just do not want to see Lupanji play it.
Goblin Hut turning out to be one of the best siege cards in Clash Royale
and
now, with a tiny little bit of a buff to the Spear Goblin's DPS in the form of improving their hit speed. We see it yet again from Lupanji.
Yeah, if he wins, riding on the back of this Goblin Hut deck, we might be seeing, well, we already are seeing a new deck that's definitely going to be forming in the meta, but this is just phenomenally played.
Miner connects at the right side, and I think Loa is going to take the early damage advantage here, but we still got a little Goblin Hut out the back. Goblin's taking down the minions, and they're going to go in for a counterattack. Mega Minion soaking a few hits here as the Spears connect with the tower on the right, bringing it down to 2014. Great year. Log rolls through the Bandit, but she might get a dash on the tower if Lupanji's not going to block.
What did you do in 2014?
Back in 2014? I got stories to tell you. Not for right now. How about 1974? That's the damage total over on Lupanji's right.
Mega Minion on the right-hand side with the Miner coming out for Loe. That's going to be a lot of chip damage. Is he just going to soak this 500 damage? Yes, he is. Miner coming out for Lupanji. They're exchanging Miners to towers.
It's reliable, easy damage. Super hard to block the Miner, and especially with so many troops coming in from both sides. It's just going to be tiny little bit of chips here and there. We haven't seen a major connection so far yet. It's two different Miner poison decks, though. Do you think Loai has got some sort of super secret win condition stashed away somewhere in there, or is he just relying on Miner poison as the primary way to win?
I think he's relying on Miner poison as the primary win condition. And the thing is, Lupanji, these Goblin Huts are just continuing to get a chip here, a chip there. Miner comes out on the right, but look at how much damage is off his tower. The poisons are just proving to be the difference in this game. Baron was using poison very effectively, to shut down buildings, and now you're seeing Loe doing the same.
Here a chip, there a chip, everywhere a chip. Right side goes down to 11-14. Defense for Loai holds on. He's a little bit ahead in damage right now. Lupanji moving in with the P.E.K.K.A. though might try to take advantage of double elixir time by building up a huge push. The biggest one we perhaps ever seen, but hold on. Loai's got a P.E.K.K.A. too.
Oh no, P.E.K.K.A. on P.E.K.K.A. in the middle of the
sister on sister action at the bridge.
Yeah, but this Electro Wizard's gonna be the difference. Minions just trying to survive. 8:38 left on the right. It's gonna continue to go down with a Miner, but Miner for both players. There's an Electro Wizard and a Mega Minion.
Stacking up damage on the right side. This Mega Minion connection could be absolutely brutal. Swipe one, swipe two even, bringing it down to 230. That's 10 points in range, and Loai cannot turn this around. Lupanji's final poison will claim victory unless Loai can turn this game into a win. Not happening. Lupanji is going to the World Finals.
Lupanji, unbelievably played by him. Nova once again being represented in London. Nova getting there, but amazing run from Loe. He had to take down, the Goliath in this tournament. But here's the thing. the 1 and 2 seeds, like we said earlier, they got knocked out of this tournament. But they're not done yet. There's still an invitational for them to get into London. So 2 Europe players still could, possibly one of them could get into London through the invitational that Soking and Surgical Goblin will be in. So maybe there might be 3 players from EU, but the 2 that will be coming out of this double elimination bracket will be Baron and will be Lupanji.
Guess we might have hoped that both of them could have qualified. At the start of the day, it was certainly possible since you got 2 spots to go to London from here, but not happening. At this point, Baron and Lupanji have solidified their position as the top 2 in the continent. They'll be duking it out for the title of Fall Champion in the European region, and there's $5,000 to go along with that title as well as a beautiful trophy. But at this point, they have both got to be very happy that they'll stay with it. They're still in this competition, and the Global Series will conclude in a massive finals in London, the Copper Box Arena on December 3rd, $150,000 for first place out of the $400K total prize pool. But let's not get ahead of ourselves in chatting, because we've still got one more stellar match to cast. Some of the best Clash Royale has to offer is on display here in Cologne.
That is true. But before this match, let's throw it over to Trid.
All right. That's a good call. It's always a good call.
Good call, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we love Trid.
I do.
Yeah. So Trid, take it away.
Thanks, guys. No, but we're here moments away before the grand final. We'll crown the best player in Europe. They will get that prize pool, but most importantly, they're going to get this trophy. Now, they've had 7 weeks of competition. They've whittled it down from 27.4 million players all the way down to 2 in just Europe alone. Regardless of that, they are going to the World Finals in the Copper Box Arena on the 3rd of December. To talk a little bit more about that, we're going to have a little word with Rumham.
Charge it up! Box on it up! Oh my God!
From 28 million players down to just 1. Months of Crown Championship Global Series play has narrowed the field down to just 16 competitors from all 8 regions around the world. Thousands will gather to see the crowning of the first Clash Royale World Champion. On December 3rd at the Copper Box Arena in London, we are going to see the biggest, baddest, best Clash Royale event ever held. We are going to have real fire, 30-foot high video screens, building-sized king heads, and so much more. You also get the opportunity to meet your favorite casters, YouTubers, players, and more. It will be the community event of the year. You're not going to want to miss it. Tickets are £40 at the Copper Box Arena, and you're going to want to pick it up today because space is very limited. Why is it limited? Because every attendee will receive a limited edition, never before seen, exclusive golden figurine that you can only get by attending the World Finals. Plus, every attendee will receive a messenger bag filled with a ton of goodies worth way more than the ticket price to the event. Hooray! The stakes have never been higher as these players are competing for a $150,000 grand prize, part of Supercell's $1 million Clash Royale prize pool. Hooray! Plus, the title and fame of being the best Clash Royale player on Earth.
Dabansky on the left doing so much work!
Oh no, she's gonna finish it off!
It's over!
So get on that hog rider and get on over to the Copper Box Arena, get your ticket online before they sell out, and I will see you on December 3rd at the World Finals of Clash Royale. Thanks for watching.
Ooh, beautifully said by Rumham. Copper Box Arena, December 3rd. Ooh, part of the $1 million prize pool. Unbelievable. But here's the thing. You want to be the winner of that tournament, don't you? I mean, you don't go here to lose in there. Like, you can say here, you can go to your friends at school and be like, I was the winner of the $1 million Clash Royale tournament.
The first World Finals ever. Now, there's been tournaments on the international stage before. We've seen tournaments out in Helsinki, down in Atlanta, Georgia, out in Shanghai. So many have brought guys from all the different continents. You know, even recently, as of last week, we had Paris Games Week, where players are competing from qualifiers to get into the main stage, to try to get to the top. We've seen so many who have proven themselves at that international level, but only one can be crowned the world champion. This is the tournament to end all tournaments. The upper bracket has been filled out. Baron up at the top will go up against Lupanji, who made a great stab after dropping to Baron from the lower bracket. We've got 2 Nova players in the finals now in chat.
Yeah, look at Baron. Takes down Loe, took down Soking, and took down Lupanji to get himself in the finals. Our 10th match of the day. It's going to be a best of 5. Could be 2 best of 5s if the lower bracket champion wins the game. But let's take a look at the lower bracket champion. It was Lupanji. He just lost to Baron in the winner's bracket final, so he just got dropped down, took down Loe, and now he is in the finals for the fall season of the EUCCGS.
That's right. And it does bear mentioning, you should bear in mind that even if Lupanji were to win the next best of 5, he'd have to do so again. Coming from the bottom bracket means that he has a disadvantage against Baron in this final setting. But it's not completely unheard of to see the player at the bottom make a move for the top and stab up. In the European spring season, we actually saw Nim Sensei defeat Surgical Goblin in the first best of 5 before Surge finally went on to get the win. And even just yesterday, Music Master took a loss to C. McHugh, who sent them into another best of 5 grand finals. Could it happen again?
You never know. You never know. Let's take a look at this next matchup. It's Lupanji.
This final matchup. The last one.
Whoa.
Only 2 remain.
Only 2 remain. Lupanji and Baron. This just played out, I would say, what, 30 minutes ago, where Baron got the upper hand. Lupanji definitely looking for revenge. And the winner of this matchup is going to get an extra $5,000.
Will indeed. Ooh. 5K on the line. They're both going to London, but the right to call yourself a regional champion is so heavily coveted. They've been fighting for it for months. And Shetton, you know, in Lupanji's case, had to qualify by winning that 20-win challenge, got through the tournament stage to be able to compete with Baron, alongside him, rather, in that little miniaturized round robin. The top 2 from each of those groups got to move on to stage 4, and it was a hard-fought season for these guys to get to the top 6 against some of the best in the world. You know, even Donkey Kong, number 3 from the spring season, didn't get a chance to move on. He was right alongside so many other players who had also competed from the spring or moved up into the fall finals, new faces. But we've got one old guy, Baron, from spring, and one new, fresh-faced Lupanji now in the finals.
Well, guess what?
What's up?
We're going to announce that fresh face right now. Coming in from the blue side of the arena. The one that causes darkness in the night. The one you fear in Double Elixir, Lupanji.
The darkness in the night won't go down without a fight. Lupanji, the Frenchman from Team Nova, squaring off against his teammate. He's dropped 2-0 in every match he's had against Baron so far in the Crown Championship Global Series. But it's not going to happen again. You know why, Chatton?
Why?
Because this is a best of 5 now. It's going to be at least 3 wins for either of these players to move on. It's going to be an absolute grueling matchup for these guys. The last one that they have to finally finish off before they get to sign the check, go home, and practice for London later on in December.
For London, that's going to be good. But coming in from the red side, the top bracket, so far, winner is going to be Baron.
Baron the Bronze has blocked all expectations, exceedingly performing well every time he's got up against an opponent. He hasn't lost a single game yet today in Chatton. 2-0 over Loe, 2-0 over Soking, 2-0 over Lupanji. Never even had to worry about a single game going into a tiebreaker. But will Lupanji, fresh off his victory over Loe, get this thing turned around?
Well, let's take a look at the bans, because that's going to be the first step to get there. Lupanji banning out Ice Golem.
Yet again.
Yeah, Baron taking out the Big Mama Pekka.
Whoa.
Oh,
Finally, we've seen a player going for the target ban to try to take out this control deck that Lupanji is running, but at what cost? It now means that Lupanji can switch back to his Mega Knight Balloon deck if he so chooses to do so.
I think we're going to see that.
Do you think so?
I think we've
We've got 3 games at least to see from Lupanji.
Yeah. Guess what, Baron?
What's up?
He might have been 2-0ing all of his opponents so far, but you're going to need to get that 3rd win in this in order to be crowned champion. And let me tell you, it's not easy to get the 3rd one. It's easy to get, 2, sometimes, but in a best-of-5 final. Listen, Woody, I got 20 wins at least.
Don't cry, don't cry. Here, where's my hanky?
You got one?
No, I think I gave it to you earlier last time you were crying. Please don't, please don't. I just smuggled this in. The producer almost got me kicked out for wearing a bow tie. Last match is now underway. Baron and Lupanji giving each other the good luck. I love the sportsmanship. Teammates from Nova, but only one can be on top.
I think they color coordinated. One's wearing black, the black jersey, one's wearing the white jersey.
Oh, how nice. They called each other before the match. What are you going to wear? Oh, I don't know. What are you going to wear? Well, let's not wear the same thing, but let's look together. Let's look good together.
Well, they definitely do look good in...
Wearing the Nova purple, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, they're waiting it out and chatting. We got lucky. We didn't see this yet before today, but it looks like they're going to be playing it slow. They're not going to be shoving troops in each other's faces. Yeah.
I thought this was fast, Woody.
Oh, no.
I'm looking at no damage on towers. How is this slow?
You're looking at the mindset of a champion, unwilling to sacrifice even the smallest little advantage toward their opponent. The first couple of minutes looking like they might go with no cards played whatsoever. I don't know, though.
He doesn't even have his hand on his iPad. He's just like...
cracking his knuckles.
Yeah.
What if Lupanji, he sneaks a furtive glance, he's cracking a smile. Just wait for Baron to yawn again, stretch his arms way up, and then make the killer move.
Is it bad sportsmanship to do that?
Oh,
to
no,
be like,
no,
the
not at all.
moment he either like cracks knuckles, play the card now. Whoa.
I mean, at best, you're going to get maybe a 1 elixir advantage at that. I think these guys have such rapid, fast reaction times, and they understand the importance of getting the right card played rather than the fastest card played. With 20 seconds left, though, as we go into double elixir time, there's not really going to be a whole lot of a reason to just sit back, relax. They're going to actually try to make the play here. The player with the bigger, heavier deck typically gets the edge in double elixir time, so they're both probably thinking that they have the heavier deck, or maybe one of them just has a terrible hand, didn't want to start off with whatever of the 4 cards they were given, but here we go.
Balloon Miner. Wow. I couldn't have called this even if, Balloon from Lupanji, of course.
Close, almost gets the drop on tower, but not quite. A little bit too slow, and the balloon bomb is not going to hit the minions either. They fly out of range. Early damage advantage for Lupanji here, but Baron's playing a heavy Golem deck.
Yeah, he's going to really punish him, though. This balloon, he does not have an answer. All he's got is minions. Is there going to be a zap? There
he gets the zap in. Bats get them down, and the balloon reaches the tower. Still quite healthy against the... Oh! Never mind.
E-Wizard, 23 seconds left. I don't know how Lupanji defends this.
That hit. It was the E-Wiz zap that reset it and forced that little half-second delay to prevent the balloon from connecting.
That's all it takes. Sometimes minions trying to come in the back, but Miner trying to get damage.
There is a reason that Lupanji is really well known for this Mega Knight balloon deck, and you're seeing it right now in chatting. Right side does go down to 772, but Baron doesn't have a whole lot of ways to get easy pressure onto his opponent. Poison is still way far out of range of being able to finish that tower off, and he's looking deadly with a minor balloon push. Nice counter from the Seawis, though.
He can't
take the balloon down quickly enough. It's not looking likely. Oh, just in time.
Ow, the minions just got enough, and Lupanji can't believe it. The cry face comes out.
Unhappy. He's going aggressive with another balloon push out the back. He doesn't have a big spell to add on top. Zap is way not enough, but the Miter just gets the connection in there. E-Wiz Zap is going to force the reset, but it's a big aerial attack for Baron. Can he pressure here?
I don't know, the Mega Minion?
Log is out of Baron's hand. He doesn't have anyone to stop the goblins.
There it is. Baron just had to overcommit on the balloon defense because he didn't have the greatest answer, causing Lupanji to just cycle the balloons. And like we said, if you give a Lupanji his balloon, he is going to make sure to beat you with it.
Nice. But that was if you give a mouse a cookie shout out, right? That's what I'm thinking. It was harkening back to my childhood. I appreciate that and chatting. But that's the first game that Baron has dropped so far today. We're finally seeing the Lupanji at his best with the greatest deck in his arsenal, Mega Knight Balloon, tearing it up in this first game.
And we watch, look at this balloon. Oh, there's one. But look at this Lecture Wizard.
How does he not get the second drop in there?
It was there, you know what I mean? I think, you know what? I think the skeleton, you know, his arms, you know, they might be small. He was trying to drop it, just couldn't release.
He had like the balloon, like, the bomb was like over the balloon's basket edge. If he had just like let go, it would have gone off. But he got zapped down. I guess
took it back up.
He took it back up, exactly. But when he fell, he get a little bit of death damage in there as well. That one nice big hit early on as things just got kicked off set Lupanji up really well to just continue applying pressure and prevent Baron from being able to get that big golem push that he was looking for. But at the end of it, it was those death damage hits from the balloon that got him closer and closer, edging toward victory. Little minor chip damage from the miner pulled off the win. Lots of numbers on screen here. Can you break this down for us in chat?
Yeah, let's break it down for everybody. The spells being played, a little bit of the difference there. So many more spells being played by Lupanji. He just had the cycle. Every single time he pushed with that balloon, he had bats with the zap to clear out the minions, and then the balloon just whoop right in there. The only thing that stopped it was that E-Wizard. But here's the thing.
What's that?
That E-Wizard didn't stop it that first time out of rotation. It did get that. It did stop it from hitting twice.
Yes.
But a balloon needs to connect as once. We all know how much damage a balloon does.
How much does it do?
Match number 2.
You're going to be starting off with a Goblin Hut in the back. Goblins marching on in for Baron to shut it down, but the Hut is going to be a persistent threat to the minor deck that Baron's brought in here.
I think my mic went off for a little second when I answered you.
I heard your answer, of course, of course. Mega Minion coming in from the back, but the chip damage from the Spear Goblins should be enough to shut that thing down. It might get a swipe or two in here, but not much of a threat for Lupanji. So many little pushes that this Goblin Hut's been able to shut down. He's going to take a swipe onto his Mega Knight instead now and counter push the left lane. That Mega Minion's actually looking pretty deadly. The tower is focused onto the Mega Knight, and it's a full health Mega Minion starting to swipe away now. 1, 2, 3 swipes. Is he going to get a fourth? Yes, he will.
Wow. That's one Mega Minion is the difference in this game, and we're only a minute in.
Super aggressive push in there from Lupanji, but it's going to pay off. Defense is looking pretty strong here as the zap comes in to shut down the remainder of this aerial attack.
Yeah, Goblin Hut coming down for Lupanji, but this time he plays it with a Mega Knight instead of the P.E.K.K.A. You take away the P.E.K.K.A., I'm going to put a Mega Knight. Wow.
Oh-ho.
Oh-ho. Nobody else got that joke but us.
No, but check out the French broadcast whenever you get a chance. My man Fish has got some nice onomatopoeias to drop on you.
Yeah, it's the Prince, you know, it's the Prince noise when he connects.
Yeah, that's what he sounds like. Log rolls through the E-Wiz, connects on the left side tower, but no more chip damage for Lupanji there. Shut down by Baron. But a little bit more attack coming in on the left side. Finally, Log rolls through, and it looks like Baron's not even going to counter it at all. Knows that that is not enough to tear the tower down. Next big push from Lupanji will get the job done, though.
Yeah, Giant trying to take down this tower on the left-hand side, but the Goblin Hut just has a lot of health. Does he have a poison? That's the question. Yes, he does. Defensive poison. It's going to completely miss the Mega Minion.
Oh, no. Unfortunate for Lupanji. He's got to hold off of this last attack, though. Baron sends in a Giant, Inferno Dragon, Mega Minion, and a Miner toward the back. Chirping away. Chipping away. And chirping as well. We got a Minion up on top, but what? Baron's going to split push now. Goes in on the right side.
Oh, no, Electro Wizard isn't going to... No, it's going to leave the party. Bye-bye. Mega Minion going to just start swiping at this left-hand side tower. Electro Wizard going to retarget, but look at how much health is on that left-hand side, Woody.
I think Baron went a little bit too aggressive switching up lanes here. He's got to tear the left side down first with only 17 seconds left. It's not looking likely. Lupanji offers the GG. He's pretty confident that he can tear this Giant push apart. Logs the tower down and distracting with the Goblin Hut in the center. Only 7 seconds left. Can Baron get in there? Not looking likely.
No, he split up his pressure. Yes, he did a lot of damage on the right-hand lane, but The main thing, Woody, is to get a tower. If you don't knock down a tower, you're not going to be able to win the game. And sometimes, play it safe, getting that first tower, then worrying about your second one. Yes, you set yourself up for success in a 2-crown game, but if you never get the first one, it is never going to get to 2 crowns.
It is a day for the underdogs. Even Baron, who knocked Lupanji down, is now getting beat up himself. It's not a good time to be in the winner's bracket, apparently. Lupanji now with a 2-0 lead in the grand finals, but even if he manages to peel another win off of Baron, it'll still go to another reset bracket and have to have another best of 5 after that. However, Baron could still pull off the reverse sweep here. We've seen him go in very close matches before. Another few wins for him is not out of the question, especially because before this match started, he was undefeated today.
That's true. I mean, he took the first 6 matches. All he's got to do is win 3 in order to be crowned champion. Unless it's 2 this time and then 1 next time.
Yes,
of course. 3 in this matchup.
Right, 3 in a row. You got to go tic-tac-toe if you're Baron at this point.
Yes, you do. Pretty even. The graph, pretty even. Elixir, the same. Spells just a little bit variant. To be honest with you, these players, they know what's going to happen in this next matchup. The problem is, Lupanji, does he go with a balloon again? Or does he go with this hut deck? Because that's pretty much the only 2 decks that we've seen from him this entire tournament. They've been working out for him. I mean, I would not change. Personally, I would probably run another hut deck again.
Fair.
Baron's probably expecting a balloon at this point. You never know, though. This is the mind games that these players have to figure out. That's why we're at the booth. We get to watch what they decide.
I think it was a pretty good move from Baron going in there with the Giant. He probably didn't expect to see that control deck set up, seeing as he banned P.E.K.K.A from the match, but Lupanji's able to pull it off anyways. A 4-for-3 counter now, trying to take that Princess out and get a little bit of chip damage onto the right side tower. 240 peeled off that lane.
Yeah, it looks like Baron's going to go with the log bait style, but Lupanji does have the log for it.
Great defensive lead from Lupanji, and Baron is shaking his head as he realizes that the best spell defense for this deck is in Lupanji's hand. 78 cards in the game, but one of the 8 that you don't want to see. Or rather, one of the 2 that you don't want to see is, or rather, the one that you don't want to see, what am I trying to say, is one of the 8 cards in Lupanji's deck.
Yeah, Princess on the left, just going to get poisoned down for damage. Cannon Cart going to easily clear out this Goblin Gang, and is it going to connect on the tower? Has to drop 3 more Elixir. That is not what you want. Baron, that's going to get logged down, and now Baron is kind of struggling in the Elixir department as Lupanji takes about a 2 Elixir lead.
Knight chopping it through that right side. Gets a couple of hits in there. Baron's got to be happy about that. Pretty much equalized here. Both towers on both lanes for both players. Down about 300 hit points in total.
Yep, Miner coming in on the right-hand lane with... Oh, that 1 minion, though, is still going to survive. Goblin Gang. Minion?
Yep.
Swipes.
One little hit over to the right side.
Swipe is good.
Now, if you're Lupanji here, if you throw the log out, you're going to be in trouble when the barrel comes down. Left side barrel does connect. Lupanji's not going to throw the log at either one. What the heck? Left side gets pulverized by the goblins, torn apart, and down to 1542 hit points. Baron pulls ahead in damage.
I think Lupanji was expecting that barrel to come in maybe on the right side as a trick. He throws it on the left, kind of caught him off guard. I'm not really sure what Lupanji was doing there. It's kind of one of those situations where you freeze for a half a second and then say, well, it's too late for me to log now.
Pre-fire log does manage to catch the barrel out the left side. No juking by Baron this time. Sometimes these players who are running log bait will throw that goblin barrel way far back to try to trick their opponents as to where it's actually going and to prevent the log from being able to connect onto them, but not really happening this time. Baron's playing it straight up, having to defend this right side Miner with a knife, but the Cannon Car locks on and chatting. Log not gonna be able to push it back and kills it first, and that's gonna be a great hit for Lupanji.
Wow, all he had to do is protect that and he would have been in great position. Log is gonna take down both gorgeous princesses. There's the barrel on the left. The minion horde easily gonna defend that. The Miner coming in on the right-hand side, it's not even gonna matter. That's in poison range. And there it is, 86 life left. Where's the log?
3-0 sweep by Lupanji. Poisons the right side tower down, and Baron has been knocked down. A decisive 3-0 match score win for Lupanji, as we will have a bracket reset, and both of these players players are now in range of being eliminated. One grand finals best of 5 to conclude the Crown Championship Global Series European Region Fall 2017 Finals.
Yes, man, we are now in, I guess you could say, the grand final, where this is it. This last best of 5 will determine. There's no more best of 5s, best of 3s, best of 2s, 1s, whatever you want to call it, are going to happen after this. These players essentially are playing possible 5 games for $5,000.
Boy, howdy. That's $1,000 per game in chat.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Life right now? Take a look at the replay of that last game. Baron tried to roll the log to knock back the cannon cart, but it killed the cannon cart instead. And there's no knockback for buildings. At that point, there was no way to move it out of range, and that was just devastating. Hundreds of damage on the right side tower. Lupanji, with plenty of elixir to counter this Knight Goblin Barrel push, does get down into the triple digits, and it's awfully dangerous, but Baron is not close enough to be able to finish it off with a rocket, which perhaps was the last card in his deck. We're not going to get a chance to see, but Poison, of course, will get the final blow on the right side, claiming victory for Lupanji.
Yeah, Lupanji played it beautifully, and just like you said, it's been a good day for the people, you know, who are kind of the underdogs as far as seeds, I guess you can say,
right,
in this tournament. I wouldn't say underdogs as players, because all 6 of these players on any given day can beat the other one. Let's take a look at this. Oh man, just never was able to get off the rocket. Baron trying to finish off the game, which is, I would say, was his last card. It's the last card in every single bait style. Lupanji spending the same amount of elixir. There was no pumps on the field, and he just beat him by just outcycling him, and that one cannon cart, that one little mistake was the difference. Cannon cart locks onto your tower. It just continues to do work. You can't log it. You can't tornado it. There's no way that's going to untarget unless you zap it.
Couldn't even finish it off with that, though. Nice try trying to knock that cannon cart back. You got to give him props. If that cannon cart had actually had a little bit more hit points, that would have been better for Baron, because he would have been able to push it out of range so that it could stop just locked straight onto his right side tower. But it was a pretty tough predicament for Baron at that point anyways. He was already down 2-0 in the match, and the fact that he had a big old cannon cart lumbering in on the right side did not look good for him at all. Lupanji brought a couple of different decks, though, to that last matchup. He was willing to, you know, show the variety of his skills and not just bring the same thing over and over again. The fact that he can play so many different decks is what has earned him a spot now in the finals. But, and chat, you know that these games are not just about what's going on in the minds of these two players. The decks that we see here are going to be the ones that are brought to the main stage at the Copper Box Arena. The World Finals are going to feature both of these guys competing for that $400,000 prize pool. And you know what? I love learning from these players as well. Whenever I see these decks, it gives me a great insight as to what I should be playing in the competitive scene, whether it's on the ladder or in challenges. And Chad, I'm sure you've taken a thing or two away from these players as well, right?
I have. I mean, I've already written down Lupanji's Goblin Hut deck, you know, over here. It might be what I'm playing later, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you see it right there?
I'll
yeah.
use the copy deck feature to try to take that one out next time. Is he going to post that up maybe?
Just sneak into the clan and just be like,
oh, hey, buddy.
Copy.
What you got for me?
Let's take a look at the prize pool and how this was broken down today. We started at the 5th and 6th players. They walked away with $5,000. Then 4th from today, $6,500. 3rd, Low 8 taking home the $8,500. 2nd and 1st to be determined, $10,000 or $15,000. These next 5 games are going to determine whether you only make 10 or you make 15. That's a $5,000 leap.
Yep.
That's a huge leap.
Massive.
These 5 games are going to be huge.
5-figure wins for these guys. 15,000 for first and 10,000 for second. That's a lot of dinero, but you don't have to be a champion to be able to play like a champion. We've got some great merch in the shop as well if you want to practice your skills in the real world. Get a princess shirt, baby dragon. Those are a couple of my favorites. You know, you've got the P.E.K.K.A. statuette back there as well. And there's the code, right? Oh, the other side. Fall Finals, 20% off if you go to the Supercell shop. Make sure to use that code to get a discount on whatever you may choose to purchase. There's some pretty nice swag, and even a Baby Dragon shirt I saw got introduced. It won the art contest.
Shirt? Really?
Yeah, it's like a Baby Dragon flying around, and he's got a sack with like some gems flying out the back.
Is it as cool as the plushie?
I don't you just get both and find out for yourself?
I mean, I'm going to.
Go for it.
I mean,
you can use the code. I'm pretty sure you're able to, right? Did you see it? It's gone now. It's the Fall Finals 20 code, but we've got the last best of 5, guys. We're hopping back into the games. I know that you've been waiting for this for so long. We had to get a couple of more bans for these guys to figure out which cards would be locked out of the next Grand Finals matchup. This best of 5 will be determined, and looks like it's the exact same bans.
There it is. Well, no. Pekka was banned by Baron last time. This time he's going to finally take out the balloon.
Pardon me.
Ice Golem coming down for Lupanji.
Yes, indeed.
As the ban from him. Interesting, leaving up Baron's Electro Wizard. But hey, if it worked for you the first time, may as well do it again, right? I mean, he's been playing that all day. Hut's been working for me. I'm going to play the Goblin Hut again. I'm going to continue to get victories. Nobody's really stopped it yet. And I expect him to continue to playing this Goblin Hut variant. The only person that stopped him was Baron when he used that poison to really shut it down. So I would assume poison's going to be in every single one of Baron's deck. It's pretty much been almost in every one of the decks that's been played, besides if he plays like a log bait with a rocket. But it's going to be interesting to see what does Lupanji bring. He is the one player coming into today that we thought was going to bring the most creative decks, and he has not disappointed us with the giant Pekka Goblin Hut and then just the Pekka version of the Goblin Hut deck. I'm excited.
They're now on even standing, both tied up with 1 match loss apiece. Baron lost a 3-0 match, though, to Lupanji. That's got to go for something. The momentum in Lupanji's favor as the final match starts. The first game of the series starting off soon. It's incredible to me that these guys aren't amped out of their minds on adrenaline rushes going nuts through their veins right now. It seems like they're you know, a little bit sweaty here, kind of wiping their hands off, getting into this next match, and they're finally in their groove once again. Baron starting off with a card that we haven't seen a whole lot so far today, the Lava Hound in chatting.
Very interesting because Lupanji has a Goblin Hut and he's been playing a lot of that. Spear Goblins do hit this Lava Hound. Baron. Oh, whoa, Log comes out from Lupanji, not quite sure why.
The oops from Lupanji, not happy about this at all. The defensive poison will be able to take out this big clump of troops, but still taking a lot of damage on that left side tower. 1,000 hit points peeled off.
Oh no, that one mistake, I think that was a misclick, and that's gonna cost him a ton of damage. What could that have been? Maybe he misclicked the zap?
Yeah, or maybe a Mega Minion. It looked like he played it kind of right on top of that Lava Hound there. He needed something to take out that big flying beast. But it's going to be a switch lane attack here now. Lupanji going down the right as he sees yet another Lava Hound swooping in on the left.
I mean, I think he's just saying, you can take my left-hand tower. I'm going to start working on the right. Oh, he's got the Pekka.
Hey, in chat, and a good Clash Royale player as well as a good dancer knows when to lead and when to take you know, a step back. It looks like this Pekka moving in over on the right side indicates that Lupanji is happy to just soak some damage on the left. He's going to attack this Lava Hound with a Mega Minion. The 3-for-7 trade is good, but Baron hasn't really committed to this Lava Hound push yet.
No, and I don't think he's going to. He's going to just play defense, letting the little lava putts just get a little bit of chip here, a little bit of chip there on the left-hand side, protect his towers, and both of his towers are still sitting at over 2,000 life.
Spear Gibby Gobs stabbing away at the right side as the Miner comes in a little bit too late to protect that last wave, but will start getting chipped away by the Night Witch. Lupanji has split his damage up, and unfortunately for him, Fireball on Baron's deck means that he's going to be well positioned to just go for that spell cycle. 2 more balls off the left side. We'll be able to wipe that tower out, and Lupanji is under a lot of pressure now to get this right side finished off.
There's the Pekka. Goblin Gang comes down. The Mega Minion. The Spear Goblin's got to get value.
They do right there, taking that Mega Minion out. Left side Spear Goblin doesn't quite kill Lupanji's tower, but it is within Fireball range now. Massive attack coming in from Lupanji. Gets a poison to support it, but Zap finishes off the attack.
Yeah, but there's Goblins, though, that are coming in from the back.
It's not enough. It's not enough in chatting. Right side still at 786, and quite a few hit points left on that right side tower. Miner going to be the weapon of attack from Baron to try to finish that side off. Baron sends in some final defensive troops just to keep this tower healthy. 558 is going to be good. Poison can't tick the tower down quickly enough. Baron gets the first win of this match.
Ah, man, I think that one misplay may have been the difference in this game. Lupanji looked really strong the entire game after that one little oops moment in the first second. And if you make a mistake at this level, it's going to cost you time in and time again. We've seen players make one mistake and then lose because of it. These players at this level do not allow you to make even the teeniest bit. And the oops comes out. He knew he made one little mistake. Tower goes all the way down.
That's why it's best of 5. One mistake is not going to cast you the entire match. A chance to come back is within Lupanji's range right now. He just beat Baron in a 3-0, and even though Baron hadn't lost any games yet the entire tournament, it's looking like he's starting to get his momentum back against Lupanji. The 1-0 win here, and it wasn't even really close by any means. Baron, in this replay, shuts down a big P.E.K.K.A push and keeps those goblins away from the right side tower. He takes a few spear hits here and there, but they only do 50 damage each time. It's not going to really deal a whole lot.
No, it's not. It would deal a lot if you protected yourself on that first push, but being down that much early, the minor chips, just too much in the end. Both players looking almost the same. Lupanji playing a lot less troops because he had the Goblin Hut instead, played a little bit more buildings. Unfortunately for him, just could not stop that first Lava Hound.
Couldn't shut it down. The Nova players in a duel right now. They're both going to the Copper Box Arena for World Finals, but will the Frenchman succeed or will the German move ahead? The World Finals need a champion, and it bears repeating. It's not just the $5,000, not just the title of champion, not just the trophy that you get to take home.
That's a nice trophy.
It is a very nice trophy, but in fact, the way that the bracket is set up for World Finals, being the champion in a region is better than coming in second place because you get to go up against someone who came in second place in another region rather than having to face off against another champion right away.
That is very, very true, and it looks like we got Logbait coming out right away. And wow, Baron played this beautifully for both players, and we have a reset to start off the match. Looks like it might be minor poison, 3 spells for Lupanji. I think he may have guessed Baron's deck.
I think he did. He got a good read on his opponent. The little light spells from Lupanji could be very helpful against this attack from Baron. But wow, a rocket, 6 for 3 trade on that left side, but gets some tower damage in the meantime. Can Lupanji punish?
I think he knows that this might be a 3-spell P.E.K.K.A minor deck, and he's just going to start his rocket cycle out right off the bat.
You got to do something against these heavy decks, but was that really going to be a value play? Baron has got a big attack coming on in. The log rolls through the Goblin Gang. He's forced to drop a barrel on defense. Not looking healthy at all, as the P.E.K.K.A is still stabbing down the defensive troop setup and will be marching toward the tower. What's Baron got to keep him off?
That will die with that princess.
Oh, takes him out.
Yeah, but look at how much elixir.
P.E.K.K.A's a lady, right?
That is true. Look at how much elixir had to be used minor. Gonna chip it down.
So the log is able to take out the Goblin Barrel or the Gang or the Princess really easily, but the Zap on the back end is still going to work pretty well against either the Barrel, as long as there's no tank out in front for it, or the Goblin Gang out in back, since the Zap is able to kill the Spear Goblins outright.
Yeah, Mega Minion just going to continue to just swipe, 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 swipe. Goblin Gang coming out on the right-hand lane. Elixir Wizard going to take care of that log on the left. Mega Minion! Ooh, and the Spear Goblin gets a lot of damage on the left-hand lane. Spear Goblin's just coming in and coming in hot.
That's the danger for Baron in this matchup. A lot of the cards that Lupanji have will shut down whatever push Baron has set up and then go for the counterattack. Baron's got lots of chippy, swarmy type of troops here that can deal a lot of damage whenever they're on the offense, but they're not really set up to go on a counterattack, especially against something as big old mama P.E.K.K.A, which you can't tear through and expect to have much of a push left anyways.
No, but the Goblin Huts are starting to swarm. Log easily clearing it out. Mega Minion just swiping all of these goblins down, and this is it. It's looking like Baron just does not have enough for this.
Lost his Ice Spear on the left side. The P.E.K.K.A can't quite reach the tower, but the Mega Minion swipes it down to 1350.
Oh, look at the elixir lead now for Lupanji, though, just starting to ramp up another huge play to come back into the elixir game, as you might call it.
P.E.K.K.A on the left bridge, reaches across and is gonna try to tear down that knight, gets it down just in time, but no help for this P.E.K.K.A to finish off the attack.
Zap to retarget.
Tornado pulls the troops further away, but doesn't quite reach the miner, and that's a lot more damage at the left side. Lupanji getting awfully close to being in spell range here now.
Yeah, Log comes out on the left-hand side, one swipe, and it's over. Poison comes down. That's one more poison log away from victory. Miner comes in and...
Get up, come on, you're down with a sickness, Baron. The poison finishes off his tower. Miner drilling in for the final blow. It's a 1-1 draw in this best-of-5 matchup between two titans of Clash.
Well, 1-1. I expect this to go to 2-2. I expect this to be the 5th game gonna decide who's gonna be the champion of the EU. I mean, we saw 2-0 for Baron in their first time they played today.
Right.
3-0 for Lupanji the second time. Now we see a 1-1. I mean, it's going to be a fight, and both of these players at this point know what each other likes to play. They know what kind of their tendency is coming into today. So now it's who plays better, who makes that one crucial play, that one, you know, less mistake. That's
the one unexpected card pick, you know, the one clutch pocket spell that they're holding in their hand until the very end, dropping a rocket on your tower, a sneaky goblin barrel in the back, a wicked miner going straight for the tower. That is what we want to see. Some big heavy hits from these guys. With the 1-1 draw, they're really put under the gun now to pull out ahead, regain momentum, and take this final best-of-5 match.
Yeah, exciting. Both players that game played over 100 elixir.
Oh.
Whoa, that's a long game, and that's a grueling game. Those long games that you lose are just, you know what I mean? They drain you a little bit, you know? Yeah. It's kind of like the quickies, you know, that you can touch on your phone or whatever and say, all right, we lost that one, let's reset. You can take this game from me, no big deal. You know, but when you lose in a 2-3 minutes extra, it's like, now I got to get into another match. You know?
Man, this is definitely a marathon, not a sprint. These guys playing in their second best-of-5 after going against some of the best players in the European region. Some interesting upset victories, some new decks that we had never seen before, and some clutch plays by these guys, getting them finally into the grand finals best-of-5. It's a poison to chip away at the Goblin Hut, but it survives pretty handily here. Ice Spirit catches the miner, and Goblins will finish him off.
Yeah, Goblins just chipping away.
Spear is not very effective at taking him out. Ooh, it's a sneaky Hog Rider at the right side. He does wind up going for the Goblin Hut, though. No pushing allowed here. Bats connect, though, and it's kind of a misplaced Iwiz out the back. A few more stabs from the Bats than Lupanji may have wanted to take there, but he's still doing quite well here. Iwiz connects at the right side, even though an Ice Spirit's going to freeze and get the stun effect over there.
Yeah, Goblins just getting taken down. Mega Minion walking towards the tower. Gonna get eliminated. Lupanji Baron, another Goblin Hut down, this time on the other side.
Miner drills in, but not a whole lot of pushing yet from these guys. Baron takes a big hit out the right side, though. Miner's looking for the Spear Goblins, bringing it down to just about half hit points now. Wow, Baron really going to push hard in the opposite lane, sends the big Mama P.E.K.K.A. in to get some heavy damage done. It's
interesting that he would be running this when Lupanji has been running a lot of buildings. You don't really want to play a Hog into a building, especially a building that has as much health as a Goblin Hut. Electro Wizard and Mega Minion are going to be a good answer to this P.E.K.K.A. Poison comes down, but now he's not going to have a poison for
Hold on, this
Hut.
P.E.K.K.A. can one-shot the Iwiz. Great defense from this Mega Knight, but poor dude's going to get chopped up as well. Sneaky attack at the right. It's Baron sitting in the Hog Rider. Is there a building to block? There's not this time. Hog Rider goes straight for the tower. 1-2 hits so far. Baby Dragon having difficulty taking him down. It's 4 hits in total. Down to 1076. Baron is now aptly ready to go for that split push.
Yeah, the Baby Dragon going to spit all over this tower. It locks on. Oh, no. Say it ain't so. He has to retarget it with the E-Wizard. The E-Wizard's actually going to be in front of the P.E.K.K.A. now that he had to do that. Mega Minion, though, gonna take down...
Oh, finished off by a zap. Nice spell there from Lupanji just to finish the job off. Mega Knight rains down damage from the sky, and he's not going to let that Hog Rider get another hit off his right side tower.
Nope, 500 damage left to go. Lupanji playing this absolutely phenomenally. Where's this miner going to go? And there it is. That's the miner that he needed. Was not able to block it. That's going to be in... Is that... Oh, he does not have a log. But it is in zap range. 64 damage as a zap. Can he cycle to it fast enough? That's the question. The answer is he should be able to.
Hog Rider moves in, but the GG from Lupanji. A big miner hit onto the right side tower. Tears it down. Just as much damage as that, and it gets the job done nonetheless. Lupanji now up 2-1 in the last best of 5 match today in Chatton.
2-1 Lupanji. Who is going to be able to come out of this? Baron now with his back against the wall. $5,000 on the line for just this best of 5. One more game away for Lupanji. One more victory. 2 for Baron. I expect Baron to come back into this matchup. I expect him to take it home and do it. But let's look at this key moment where the Baby Dragon locks onto the tower. When you have to drop an Electro Wizard to just retarget a Baby Dragon. Yeah. Not only that, the Baby Dragon's now in front of the Electro Wizard's now in front of the P.E.K.K.A, which is something you never want to have happen. Mega Minion's still alive here, just doing work.
Baron's push forced backwards. He got a great Hog Rider hit in there, and I think he might have even done more damage to Lupanji's towers overall, but couldn't concentrate it down one lane. But you know what, Enchantin? This means that we are now in the match point. Another win for Lupanji will seal the deal. This could be the final game, and so I got to thank you, man, for being an excellent co-caster during the fall season of the Crown Championship here. Of course, I'm Woody from Reddit Alpha and looking forward to the final game. And Chattin, you got any last shout-outs before we hop into this match?
Not much. I'm in chat from Hashtag Gaming, and this match might be it. And I cannot wait to see Lupanji Baron, match number 4. Can Lupanji come out with HUD again? I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Let's do it.
I'm ready. Well, here we go. Lupanji Baron, match 4. Lupanji 1 win away
from the Grand Championship.
That trophy looks awesome.
The arena. You remember when they went for 2 minutes without playing anything? Not this time. Baron starts out with a Mega Minion in the back.
Mega Minion on the left-hand side for Baron Lupanji with a Mega Minion of his own. Goblin Gang being split in the back for Baron. What is
Lupanji not going to respond?
Just going to hang out here. Miner coming down, Electro Wizard, but the Miner's still going to get a little bit of chip here.
Log rolls through that right side, but it's an advantage for Baron as the miner connects and gets a 700 damage off the right side tower. Nice early hit for the German on top.
Not how you want to start if you are Lupanji, but he's going to throw in a miner of his own, getting a little bit of chip. And, oh, the Lava Hound. The Lava Hound coming out on the right.
Left side tower chips away at the miner without anything from Baron to respond. He knows that he's ahead in damage, and he can just take a little bit of chip damage here and there. More interested in putting together a massive attack out the right lane. But does he have Balloon with his deck? Or is this the Lava Hound variant that just relies on getting a big, heavy troop to fly through the sky while the other damage dealers walk on by?
Well, we're about to find out. This Mega Minion's going to get taken out from the skies. Oh, no, so much damage. All the Lava Pups live.
The pups survive a little bit more hit points than Lupanji could deal with. The poison must have come in just a millisecond too soon to be able to take them down and finish them off. Left side for Lupanji is still sieging damage on the left tower as the goblins managed to throw 3 spears off, but Baron is feeling confident throwing another Lava Hound to the back. He's going to go on the offense again, and Chattin.
Yeah, Lava Hound in the back. 1 minute and 7 seconds left. Lupanji's deck is not built to take 2 towers. Let's see if he can even stop Baron from taking 2 of his own.
The thing that gave Baron the victory the last time they had this matchup is just the fact that P.E.K.K.A gets virtually no value whatsoever against a deck that flies so high, and even when it's on the ground, it's a big swarm of goblins. The only thing she can really get value against is the Miner or the Night Witch, but you haven't really seen her doing a good job of that yet this match.
Not at all, and with 35 seconds left, Lupanji, I don't think he can get to the tower. There's not going to be, well, there should not be another Lava Hound that's played from Baron. He's just going to go on the full out defense. 24 seconds left, 23, time ticking. Poison coming down, the Lava Hound just to soak all damage. Everything he can play is just on the field. This is when you just spam your device and just drop everything you possibly can, because there's really not much that Lupanji can do that can get past it.
The kitchen sinks into Baron's side of the arena, but the defense will hold up, and it's a win for Baron. We are going into a 2-2 grand final finals tiebreaker match.
Oh, baby, grand final 2-2 last match. Ugh, if you told me I had to play a $5,000 match, oof. I mean, I need to see a towel. I need to wipe off my hands from the sweat, and I need to be like,
Get some hand warmers.
Yeah. Like,
I'd
need
be
to
losing
like,
circulation.
Just be like, all right, we're ready. We're ready. Like, whew, like $5,000 for one match, and that's what we're about to see.
It is indeed. The most expensive game of Clash Royale ever. These guys are both going to be going to the World Finals, but one of them will be starting off with a dominating position up top. Check out the poison on defense from Lupanji here, trying to take out these this big clump of units from Baron. Just didn't have enough to finish off the pups, and that's what ultimately cost him the tower.
Yeah, Log does not take out pups, and look at that.
Nope.
Might have a sliver of health, but like I always say, the most important and the most lethal unit in the game is a unit at 1 HP.
You do say that. I've heard that before. And it doesn't matter whether you're at full health or just down to 1. If you're still alive, you're still swinging. Baron with the win in that last game. Let me take a look at the stats here. It appears that he played more troops overall, so he was unafraid of setting up either big pushes or, you know, just defending against the little tiny chipping attacks that Lupanji was throwing out. More spells from Lupanji this time, but didn't really matter a whole lot. Even with those Goblin Huts set up to defend, the overwhelming force of those big Lava Hound attacks just dropped the tower down. No contest that last game, but there's going to be a close finals coming up soon in Chatton. The best of 5 series will be over in just 3 minutes plus overtime, of course, right afterwards. Who's your money on? What's the smart money in chat? And tell me, man. I know you're a betting man, right?
Shh.
Oh, you keeping it close to your chest then, huh? Oh, gotcha. Okay, well, we'll know.
There you go.
Very soon if your prediction is right or not. Let us know in chat. Is Lupanji or Baron going to be the champion of the European region? We'll find out soon.
Oh, man. Let me tell you. We're about to find out. But this has been an amazing European region coming out. I think this might be the first time the lower bracket takes it all. Right?
What an insane performance. Well, you know, if Lupanji does get the win, it will be a lower bracket victory here. Haven't seen that yet, but what an amazing finish that will be. And there's no way it could have gone better for the storyline. Finishing out in the Grand Ultimate Super Challenge Finals, this best of 5 matchup will determine who gets $5,000 and is the champion from Europe.
Yeah, gets an extra 5,000, 15,000 for first, 10,000 for second. He's playing ones again, another Lava Hound deck. Let's see if Lupanji added another element of air defense to his deck to counter Baron's aerial assault. Electro Wizard, oh, the baby dragon, and that might be the answer.
He's gonna have to definitely defend this right side. Ooh, Zap this time instead of Log. That is the crucial change that Lupanji needed, and it was a wonderful mix-up here. Baby Dragon on defense is gonna be able to keep all but most of the damage off the right side anyways, and a massive counterattack coming in. Baron has no way to shut this down.
No, there's no way. He literally said, you play Lava Hound, you lose, and Baron just played Lava Hound. Oh no, he not only put in the baby dragon, but as you said, put in the zap, and Baron's over here shaking his head saying, oh no, why did I play Lava Hound?
The number 5 seed Lupanji, a minute away from claiming victory. If Baron can't turn this thing around, it's gonna take a miracle. He's already down to triple digits. 1 crown is all Lupanji needs for the win, and Baron's happy to take a little more damage out the right side. I think he knows he's gonna lose that tower, and it's just gonna have to go for the counterattack instead.
Yeah, well, here comes the baby dragon, the Mega Knight. Yeah, the Mega Knight might be moving and grooving on the other side. Lava Hound just getting assaulted by these spear goblins. These spear goblins are doing a ton of work to this Lava Hound.
Business. Nice job with the split in the back. The Goblin Gang was able to pull that Mega Knight rather to the left side tower. It's a big attack still in there. Miner is soaking for these bombs. Oh no, that's a ton of damage! Mega Knight tears the tower down to 56 and finishes it off. Baron is back in it.
I don't believe it, and the Goblin Hut did absolutely nothing. Baby Dragon on the right-hand side for Lupanji. Can he answer on the right? I think Baron's just got to give this up. Poison and Miner gonna be enough. No big deal. We're gonna be going into a 2-crown game. Lava Hound with a Night Witch on the left-hand side. Lupanji answering with a Mega Minion. What are we looking at, Woody, on this push?
Lava Hound soaking out front for a huge push. Normally I'd say that Baron has the lead here, but Lupanji did a nice split push earlier and got that tower down to 1574. It's looking awfully close up the left. The Mega Minion survives and swipes down that Lava Hound. Left side tower for Lupanji is going to hold on at 1343. Left side Baby Dragon on the defense is going to wipe out this little chippy push here, and it's a siege placement once again. Lupanji with the Goblin Hut to continue the pressure on the left lane.
Oh, this Lava Hound, I don't know. There's a lot of answers for this Lava Hound. All Lupanji has to do is shut this down without taking too much, giving too much fireball value. Mega Knight coming down as well. That's, you don't really do much damage with a fireball to a Mega Knight. It's got so much health.
Ugly fireball there, but neither player really willing to commit to this next attack. Night Witch wipes out the Mega Knight. And with Lupanji's remaining attack, he's going to send in a Miner to try to soak some hits here. Great zap by Lupanji, adding onto that attack. It's a little bit of damage off the left side, and it's a relative dead heat now, as both players around the 1300 damage mark are going to be duking it out, moving in for their next attack.
Yeah, 2 Spear Goblin Huts, though, might be the difference in this next push. Just do not give fireball value. Look at these Spear Goblins, though, doing work on this Lava Hound. Mega Knight comes down, Mega Minion comes down, and oh no, a Night Witch just trying to protect his tower.
Hound pops, but there's nothing to soak for the pups at the end, and Baron is facing down a big, mean push. Left side Baby Dragon finishes off the Goblins in the back, and that's a healthy Miner soaking now for that left side Spear Goblin push. Not enough to finish off this game, but that left side for Baron is not looking good.
No, Spear Goblin just chipping away. Miner not going to get enough value here. Oh no, 558, there's the fireball!
Nice fireball cycle at the left side, hits the Goblin Hut and that big old Mega Minion. A desperate play from Lupanji here. He's gonna get the jump! That's it! Mega Minion connects to the left side tower and Shen! Lupanji has won!
Gee! Wow! He's going to be our EU champion! Wow! Unbelievable game from Lupanji. Couldn't have been better.
Lupanji, congratulations. Thank you. How do you feel?
Great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good. You're going to London? Yeah, you've won Europe. You're the best player in Europe. How does that feel?
Amazing.
Amazing, yeah? Good. Excellent, man. Congratulations. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know you just gave him a round of applause, but give him another one. Your European full champion, Lupanji! And thank you so much to everyone who's tuned in with us for the fall season. Thank you to Woody and Enchanted for being the commentators for the entire season and absolutely killing it. And of course, Ben for joining me at the finals here to make this an extra special occasion. That's it for the fall season. We will see you on the 3rd of December at the Copperbox Arena for the World Finals. Congratulations.